6 years ago, I was up here, and I said, this is our first Jewish president.
Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we're both on a list. Artie and Fist. Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we make the moose pissed. Streaming through history, uncovering mysteries as to why the whites are living in misery. We keep the audience salivating as we continue navigating through centuries of adventures of the ever-evolving small-head wizardry. Audience, let us show you what you might have missed.
And it looks like me mom's a pyramid. We're live.
We're live. We're live. Oh, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Oh my God, mate. This week has been insane. I had to take time off from my side gig, cleaning out the tunnels. Mate, it's not a job for the faint-hearted. Right? I'm telling you, right? You come across all kinds of like weird stuff down there. But I had to crawl out of my underground job in order to cover like all the stuff that's been going on this week. It's been amazing. I can't believe it's only been a week, mate. Like, oh, dude, so much stuff in the world of Mooery. This is like the Olympics or like some kind of like crazy sort of event. There's been tears, there's been sadness, there's been joy, there's been wide-ranging calls for like censorship, deplatforming. It's run the whole gamut, mate. Right?
There's been lampshades, right? There's
Sorry?
been shoes. There's been belts. There's been pants.
There's been shoes, belts. There have even been, and I hate to report this, chat, some rather insalubrious comments directed at very sort of proper old English people of the Moorish persuasion, and we're not going to tolerate that. I mean, that just come on, right? You can't do that, right? It's yeah, mate. It's been insane. Like the Bondi shooting happened, and then everything just kicked up. Like, I mean, I was going to say a notch, but like 3 notches. It's just like gone. It's just gone insane, man. Like, oh, mate, it's fucking crazy. And you were on Ben Boyce, like
Yes.
Oh, mate, that was a good interview, man. I only caught about the first half of it, but it was good. I mean, what do you mean by identity?
Oh my God, he really just lets me. It's so funny to hear me say to Ben Boyce, like, oh, this is why I fucking hate you people. Like, he's never done anything to deserve anyone talking to him like that. Of course, I didn't sound like that, but he's
What
capable.
do you mean? What do you mean, you people?
It's really funny to say that to Ben Boyce because, like, what camp is he in? He's actually like hyper individualistic. I guess I meant people that are like, so you're bringing up white people, isn't that identity politics? I'm like hypersensitive to anything not like viciously right wing at this point. I guess that's the only way I can explain it.
I feel like Ben's undergoing like some kind of paradigm shift or something. Like he's very unsure. Shout out, Ben. If you're listening to this, it's a good interview. Like, we love you, bro. So, I mean, mate, tonight we have a girthy, circumcised, obviously, girthy, sort of collection of videos. And mate, I have just been researching my little fanny off,
right,
mate.
So you are the Moo department. You
Yes.
are my Moo advisor on this in my monarchy. Okay.
Yep. Head of Mooish affairs.
I mean, honestly, you just keep cranking out the hits. But the point that I really want to make is that, fellas, there's gonna be a divide, and it's gonna be happening sooner rather than later. Okay. It is MAGA already MEGA, Is MAGA already make Israel great again? Because that seems to be the divide. James Lindsay would have you believe that other people are making that a wedge issue. It obviously couldn't be the global mooery that Nick Fuentes brought up that we're going to show you today how they're, as if we're just going to show it to you today. And then we don't normally show it to you, but
I mean,
they're kicking it into moo hyperdrive with the level of coordination that they have trying to enact speech laws in the United States.
oh yeah, and not just the United States, like everywhere. I mean, it's weird, right? To yet again, the hacker known as 4chan literally called this like 4 years ago, right? Mega was like a 4chan thing, right? Like they used to say, oh, we've got that Murdoch clip. Actually, I should probably like play that at some point as well.
Oh yeah, yep.
Like they were calling that like even before 2020, right? I was, when I was just a fresh-faced young, well, not exactly a leftist, but just sort of basic.
Yeah,
bitch,
what would
kind
you
of
call yourself? Because I had trouble defining myself to Ben Boyce when I was talking about like 10 years ago, where like, I guess liberal, free speech, leave me alone liberal, not a liberal, apolitical, essentially. The default state of the post-World War II consensus. Let's say that.
Yeah. I like to think of it as like basic bitch liberalism, right?
Yeah.
Like when you haven't actually thought really too deeply about it. About like my sort of overwhelming sort of thing was just a sort of general distrust of institutions.
I trusted all the institutions.
Well, I did. I didn't, right, for like ages, and then I did my first year of uni, and I was like, maybe I've been too harsh on the institutions, right? Maybe things really do work the way they're supposed to, and maybe I should just relax and trust the institution. And then COVID happened, and I was like,
right, yeah,
I'm right back there. I'm just like, how could I have been like so foolish to trust the institutions, man? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm having this with the moos recently. I mean, my temperament, my channel at the beginning of the year, I was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed anti-communist, and I had to intentionally ignore the moos. So a lot of this is new for your boy, and there's no way I can hold this in any longer. I am so close to being a white nationalist. It's insane. Okay. I was preparing because we're going to be, ladies and gentlemen, Sunday at 4 p.m. We are interviewing Eric Arval, the president of Return to the Land. So I've been looking at his content and whatnot, and I forgot I had a 23andMe. I could show it on stream. I'm 100% European, and something started clicking in my ancestral brain where I'm like, this is the only situation where this information is useful, and I'm 100% European. And there's a shift happening inside of me. And if you want to pry open my guts and see what that shift looks like, well, hard R fellers, tomorrow night I'm having a session, a hard R only stream behind the paywall, where the fellas can think up some interesting questions that they have for Eric as well. We're going to watch some of his stuff and have community-driven questions for that very interview. So tomorrow, past 6 p.m. EST, I'm not quite exactly sure on the time just yet, but I'll let you guys know.
Man, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be really, really interesting. Like, have you cleared it with the ADL though? Right? Like, I know they're not going to be happy you talking to Eric, right? So I hope you've got clearance from them. I hope you've got your papers in order.
I honestly, I have never seen this guy laugh. I've only seen him serious, so I honestly don't know what level of humor I'm going to be able to use.
That's a really good point.
I don't know how serious or how much he jokes, and I've never seen him joke. So like, if I say to him like, okay, dude, imagine if I was like, so you don't want any gays or Jews or blacks in there? Why is that? That would be too much, because that's like exactly what we covered the first stream, is that like there's these white people that are just getting together, having their own thing, and it's like, so and of course a moo comes in to go, so no moos or blacks or gays, and it's like, what the fuck do you think?
It's
been to Israel?
When I was like watching that, I was having a think back to that, and it occurred to me that it's very much like the black experience, right? How like, you know, you move away from them and they just like follow you, right? Like they just, you know, like they hate you, but they just can't, like they have to keep following you. It's exactly the same like dynamic. You're just like, look, we just want to like get the fuck away from you guys. Did you ever see that article? Oh mate, this is hilarious. I should try and find it. But I remember this article about it was like at the height of BLM, right? Like when all that stuff was going on. And it was this black guy basically saying that he was like really, really worried. He wanted to destroy the space program because he was worried that all the whites might like fuck off to Mars.
What? No way.
Yeah, for real. Right, he's worried all the whites might fuck
That's
off
a
to
goof.
Mars.
That's a
and just,
comedy
like,
skit. That can't be real.
leave the Earth as like a desolate husk. But because it was BLM, right? Obviously, the whole thing was like framed as like, you know, this is white supremacy or like whatever, right? Like, oh mate, Chad, if anyone can like, if anyone knows that article that I'm talking about. Mate, stuff that lodges in my brain. Man, we've got a lot of super chats.
We're
bro.
backlogged right now.
Mate,
So
we
as the bodies are rolling in, I want you to hover over what you need to hover over while I hover over the applause for certain ones. Get us nice and ready.
Okay.
Let's have you walk us through.
Limiting Principle podcast for $5. Hey,
Thank
Patrick, how you doing, mate? Still watching, boys. Not sure I can handle 3 hours of RG.
Wow,
Mate.
he's gonna feel like such a jerk when he listens to me mention his podcast on there. Oh, I gave him a plug on there. He's gonna feel like a real horse's patoot. I can't wait.
And oh my God, the Frenchman.
Oh my God.
He is here with the baguette. Look at him go. For 20 US Federal Reserve dollars, the best kind of dollars. I don't say that, but other people tell me they're the best dollars. We print them out of thin air, actually. Have no fear. The Frenchman is here.
He really is trying to make up for the history of the French. We have, like, I mean, essentially, isn't it the French's fault that we have the left and the right? Like, think of how much damage they've done. Is this like restitutions for the West when the Frenchman comes in? It feels like it.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I should do a history podcast on
Mm.
that. Actually, speaking of, actually, I'll just like slip this plug in.
Keep going.
You can check out the latest episode of History if you would like. I did it on Monday. It's about the Great Bullion Famine in the Middle Ages, where like basically there was no gold or silver, and everything sort of like ground to a halt. You might enjoy it. I've been getting good feedback on it, actually. People are like, they're like a bit of history. So, you know, check it out, boys.
You also do a good job of restoring masculinity to Christianity at a time where we actually like need it the most. In a lot of these things as well.
Yeah, muscular Christianity.
Yeah.
Right. Big time.
Wow. Thank you.
Look at him go. Wait. Give him a nice sneed there.
Hit him with it.
Happy St. Nicholas Day, hard R fellas. A man who stopped an execution by grabbing the sword himself and slapped the crap out of Irenaeus at the Ecumenical Council of 325, the OG Santa Claus. Nice one, big time with a bit of church history there. Thank you.
Kicking it really old school right there, okay?
Yep. We've
Much
got Appalachian Goy became a member. Very, very nice. $2 from Suck Duck, another for James Fishback.
Hey, he's saying the right things. James Fishback is saying the things that Vivek had to say, and he looks shades lighter, so good for him.
$10 from the new GM.
Wow.
Thank you very much,
Thank
mate.
you.
A buttery kipper is a punishment for a misbehaving goy involving dipping a kipper in a jar fit for Jesus Christ and slapping the goy with it. I think it's getting triggered by kipper.
You never know how you can slide these things through.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, right? I don't think there's like enough censorship to actually like get around this, right? Like,
Right.
if you look at the Soviet Union, right? They just invent new words for stuff, right? Like people know like what's going on. So, thank you very much, new GM. $2 from Appalachian Goy. I'm 80% Seminole. 82% European, 100% W. Isn't Seminole, isn't that like that sort of you have it for breakfast, like I
What?
thinking of something else?
What are you thinking of?
Just like it's like little oat balls or something like that. I mean, no, it must be something else. 1488
There he is. There he is.
from Drenth. Thanks very much. It's funny how we harp on the moos, but it was because listening to a moo when I was like 12 years old opened my eyes to how not to trust the government. Yeah.
I brought this up on Ben Boyce, where it's like, you can talk to some blacks and go, hey, don't N-word suck. And they go, yeah, that's not us. They're really frustrating. You can talk to women about how feminism is awful. And they're like, yeah. Where are the moos to talk about how bad the moos are? Even the secular moos, even the atheist moos, even like it is tough.
No, they do exist.
Well, hey, there's a third chair here for any moos like that. Okay.
There was this one really great moo who is on. I should try and track him down. Let's
Should
see
you
what
really
else we got.
phrase that as trying to track down a moo at a time like this, Fist? Really? Is that really sensitive of you?
I mean to offer him a spot on the pod. Like, oh, come on, mate. Like, not like that. My God.
Right.
Waffle.
What tracks do you look for? Okay, we're not gonna say what tracks you look for. Coin clippings.
Oh my God. Just a little coin shaving.
Oh wow.
Thank you very much, Waffle.
Unbelievable, this guy. Hold on.
And now the Chad does what the Chad wants, and no one is stopping him because Chad does what Chad wants.
This guy
can't
is single-handedly, practically responsible for having so many people behind the paywall. That's incredible, dude. People thank they don't even know where it comes from. They're like, hey, whoever gifted me this, thank you so much. He really is just like an anonymous saint that comes down and blesses people and then just goes back up.
Yeah, but he's so threatening about it. Right?
Yes.
Like he'll sidle up to you and he'd be like, "It's Friday. You know what time it is?
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it again. You can't stop me." He's like, he's like a friendly pervert. Is what he's like.
No, but he's not a pervert. So there's three kinds of creepy. There's good creepy, bad no, there's three kinds of weird. There's good weird, bad weird, and mysterious weird. Now, what's worse than bad weird is mysterious weird, because at least with bad weird, you know how to feel about it. Mysterious weird is the worst because I just unresolved feelings. It's the epitome of weird. I don't know how to feel about it. He's threatening me, but he's supporting me, but he's making it seem like I'm going to have to pay up to him at some point, right? He's the feeling I get.
I'm gonna come collect all those memberships. Thank you very much, Waffle.
Thank you.
Aramaic Discourse for $5. I know Jesus warns me about false prophets, but the prophet 4chan keeps being correct. Yeah, I mean, Oh my God, John Jackson for 20.
Wow.
Reserve dollars. Thank you very much, mate. Some cash to push you over the edge.
And I'm not.
WN.
I'm not kidding. I'm having like visions of like going there. I now know like a good amount about it. I know exactly. I know what I have to fill out. I know my lineage. I'm not kidding, dude. I'm going to go into a lot of detail tomorrow as we're strategizing.
All right. Limiting Principle podcast again for $2 meant 5 hours. Thanks for the plug, Mayo Monkey.
See, he knows the way to my heart is to be racist against me for being white. Thank you. That's how a man apologizes to another man. Thank you. I
quite like some of the anti-white slurs. Actually, I think Mayo Monkey's like pretty cool.
Depends who's it's coming from, dude. They're so not clever a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, why not just you can make some jokes about like liking cheese, lactose enablers. Or something like that, But no,
well, I always say that, like, you've worked some jobs in your life, and when you have a shitty boss, you have jokes about the shitty boss within a couple of weeks. We've been the boss for 400 years, and this is all they had to come up with. Like, no wonder why they can't nation build. You can't even get good jokes about us after 400 years. Like, oh my, wow me over here. It's been a while, hasn't it? That's what you got.
And
Unreal.
another $2 from Appalachian Goy. Thank you very much, mate. Fist Seminole is a Southern Appalachian engine. Oh, thank you. I did not know that, Appalachian Goy. I do very much like the Appalachians. Shout out to all my Appalachian brothers in Tennessee. You guys are fucking really good people. I think I might have been Appalachian in a past life. Right. Okay. So my God, that was a lot of super chats. Thank you, everyone. So shall we get into the first? What have you've got the first thing, haven't you? You got something horrible lined up for us, don't you?
Yeah.
Is it the creature from
I got it right here.
the Olsen Lagoon?
Okay.
Now,
no,
my eyes.
Fellas, we make this stream like it's South Park. You guys ever see like 6 Days to South Park, where like they're editing it like up until the last second in case something happens? The Ben Shapiro thing was what, like last night when Ben Shapiro spoke?
Yeah, I think so. Or was it today?
So
everything's moving so fast.
No, it has to be yesterday or today. Oh my God, this was this morning. I don't even know either. So this is Mikhail Olsen, someone who's been featured on this channel, who is a James Lindsay. We're going to take a little bit of a break from James Lindsay because it's the same stuff over and over again, fellas, okay? Racism doesn't exist. Anti-Semitism doesn't exist. It's just to be against white people. I love how the liberals are like, no. We're not crazy like the left, but you're anti-Semitic and racist. When we say it, we're not like the left. Okay. But anyways, he is going to talk about Ben Shapiro's balls. Too much for my comfort. He really is going to gobble these things down. He thinks his boy Ben is being brave, as if he doesn't have, the institution of global mooery behind him when he's saying these things. So he's going to do the liberal version of calling Ben Shapiro brave and stunning. What's up?
So he's not just brave. He's also stunning and brave.
He's going to do the liberal version of it. So I know that this is Fist's least favorite part of what I put him through. So I'm gonna walk you through it, Fist. Okay.
This is going to be a Ben Shapiro appreciation video.
Are we starting off good? You ready? Did that wet in your lips? Did that give you a little soaking in the cellar?
I'm just so over fucking like Ben Shapiro. Like it was one thing when he was like going to universities, like just like dunking on like weird universities.
And that was helping.
Yeah. Okay, right. Go on. Hit
Shout out to Big Homie Ben. He's been saying and doing, as of late, what hardly anybody in so-called conservative media has the balls to do. And I'm
not like Nick Fuentes.
just out of curiosity,
courageous.
Is that thing that he's been doing, right? Calling for like gatekeeping and cancellation? Because I feel like he's absolutely hardly anyone in conservative media has been doing that, right? Like truly stunning and brave. Where has Ben Shapiro been?
I don't know why you're talking about this pinnacle of masculinity and conservatism because of his orange Bass Pro Shops hat. That's how you know he's a conservative, okay? Hello, fellow conservatives.
Oh my God.
Wait till you see him from the side profile.
Pretty sure at this point, Ben Shapiro is one of the few people in conservative media that has a working pair of balls. I can probably count on one hand the amount of people that would apply to. And Ben Shapiro is definitely one of them, at least late. And I'm not saying I agree with Ben Shapiro.
Likes to count balls. I will give him that much.
Dude, Ben Shapiro's got a set of balls on him. Why? Because he said like the establishment take on Nick Fuentes, the same thing they've been saying about Nick Fuentes for 10 years now. Like, they're not saying anything new, but they're acting like they're saying something new, which is a part of the PSYOP, which I know it's going to get repetitive, fellas, but we're fighting for the culture over here. This is what they do, and this is what you have to get used to.
Shapiro on everything, or that I have agreed with Ben Shapiro on everything. I don't. There's certainly a list of things, especially over the past, that
they never say what they disagree about. They just go, I don't agree with him on everything. He likes chocolate, I like vanilla. See? Like, well, what do you disagree with him on,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't necessarily agree with Ben on. But one thing is sure about Ben Shapiro. And again, this is something that you can't really say with much confidence with hardly anybody else in conservative media or media in general. And that is that he is painfully consistent to his own standards.
Unlike Nick Fuentes, right?
Yeah.
Here's what Ben Shapiro's been painfully consistent on, trying to cancel Nick Fuentes for 10 years. When Nick Fuentes has been unbelievably consistent on global mooery, which he just talked about on Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan had to try and act like that was some sort of slur that they don't that moose don't even use themselves. So
Yeah. Wait, we got some super chats. Hang on.
oh my
hang on.
absolute word.
$20
Unbelievable.
from Total Blackout Training.
TBP. I'm getting there. I'm coming. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it.
My dude, Merry Christmas, wishing all my bros the best of the season. Thank you, TBP.
It'll be a very white Christmas after that Eric Arval conversation. Oh, baby.
May you have an excellent Christmas. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
TBP. He's a good lad. We've got 50 NOK.
Go ahead, make it up. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What the hell could that be?
I don't know. North Korean.
There you go.
Norwegian krona. I don't know. Anyway, right? Like, thank you very much from Arakreen Green Moon.
Thank you.
He also apparently sent something to your donation link on. But I don't know how to get into that. I think this mess started over censorship, and now we are full circle. It's ironic in a way. Yeah, it is. I mean, I think that quite frankly, censorship has diminishing returns. Like the best censorship is the censorship that isn't noticed, right? Once it starts really spinning up, it starts becoming less effective.
Thank you.
Coom, excuse me. Coom of Doom.
Sounds like you got some goom in your throat. You good?
That's right. Some Doom Coom for 50. What's PLN?
It's the right color. Hey, it's the color.
Oh, yeah.
The color.
Yeah. Wait. Hang on. Gotta have a love heart.
Thank
For
you.
all that Doom Coom. Thanks very much. Finkelstein had a feud with Colin Tomlinson on X, and at the end hit him with, "I've no interest in your Huite race war and ludicrous self-pity." Soon he cried he doesn't feel safe in the UK because 15 moose died in AU. Yes, we will be covering Mr. Finkelstein and his crash out and the hilarious memes that have been
That is
resulting.
in fact on the docket.
It is on the docket. Thank you very much. $10 from Waffle.
Oh my
Wait, we need more stickers.
we do. That's your department. You're the sticker department.
I'll get on that. Like the stream, or I'm milking Artie.
Please. See? Do you see how unsettling this person is? Do you see how he gave us money, right? But now I might be milked, and I'm 75% sure he knows where I live.
Yeah.
So please.
Look, it's a living, mate, right? Like, come on, right? If you got to endure like the occasional milking, right? Just lie back and think of England or something.
Please,
like that, right?
for the love of God, like the stream. You don't know what this guy's capable of. He contacts me in private to scare me, and it works.
$20
Jesus
again
Christ, mate.
from the Frenchman. Look at him go.
Thank you so much.
Oddly enough, I'm mostly Swedish and Welsh. Typical Amerimut. Merry Christmas and God bless. We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. Oh, that sounds a bit racist to me, mate, right? Everybody knows you can't secure a future for white children. We must secure a future for black and brown and every other kind of like children except for like white children. What is wrong with you? Thanks very much, Frenchman.
I am so close. I don't think you understand how close I am. I didn't talk to you about it beforehand because I'm once I turn that faucet on, it doesn't turn off. I honestly, there was probably a 3-hour period where I was watching Eric Arval stuff and things started to click, but I'll save that for the paywall.
God mode enabled. A traitor is among us.
Yeah, right? I don't even know. What does this guy want?
Why don't you consider yourself neo-Nazis? Because I don't.
That sounds like a leftist. Why don't I? This sounds like a witch hunt right now.
Why don't you consider yourself neo-Nazis? Because I don't. Right? Fuck off. Belief in the Moorish Messiah is a controlled oppo. Heresy detected. Thanks for the money, though.
Thank you.
Double mumble for $2. I'm late. What did I miss? Well, you can catch it on the replay. It's just the intro, mate. Big time. Oh my God, for $20.
What
God,
a joyous occasion.
St. Nicholas threw gold through a window to provide dowries to 3 daughters whose father was considering to make their home a brothel due to poverty. Merry Christmas, boys. God bless. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? Most people are not aware of just how incredibly based a lot of the Orthodox saints are.
Yeah.
Like, oh my mate, some of them they just did like the most crazy and heinous shit, and then they're just like, oh, we're turning to Christ. It's really, it's really good. Thank you so much, big time,
Thanks.
and
Really
Merry
appreciate
Christmas
it.
to you, Jude. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's it. Okay, right. God,
Okay,
mate.
here we go.
Oh, the chat's on fire tonight.
Let's move.
Look at you go.
He doesn't read the room before he says something.
That's good.
Do you get what I'm saying? He doesn't
artistic.
calculate the truth based off of how the people sitting in front of him are going to take it. He just says what he thinks, and he just says what he believes to be true. And what he's been saying to be true, what he believes to be true, has been consistent for decades. He stood on the exact same principles. Again, you don't have to agree with those principles. You don't have to.
Whatever they are, whatever that means. Mind you, Dave Rubin invited this guy on his show, so he is being selected by the Lindsayites and Ben Shapiro and the global Moory folk, which is why I'm keeping an eye on him.
Like Ben.
Imagine seriously believing, right, that Ben Shapiro doesn't craft his message for like an audience. Like,
Imagine being James Lindsay, and as soon as Ben
Oh,
Shapiro is
my
done
God.
speaking, you go, boom, that's it, lights out. But then you still have to wait until other people are done speaking.
Woke right officially destroyed, bro.
We're going to cover that.
Yeah, it's in the deck. It's in the deck. We'll
disagree
pull
with
it
him
up.
on most things and still acknowledge the fact that this is a man of principle. Okay. Here's
Principles.
what's happened recently with Ben Shapiro. First of all, as you guys remember, I made a video covering some of this. Ben Shapiro called out Megyn Kelly to her face on her own live show. If you guys remember this, about Candace, about Tucker, about the woke rights stuff, why Megyn refuses to call this stuff out, pointing out and highlighting in a rather polite way to Megyn, and it's gotten less polite, as I'll show you in a moment, and rightfully so. But at that point, politely pointing out the inconsistencies, the hypocrisy, the cowardice of Megyn Kelly to her own face. Who has the stones in conservative media to
The Stones. So
Sorry.
I love how like Ben Shapiro is somehow like the David and Nick Fuentes is the Goliath in this dude's mind.
Oh, wait. I need to know. Can someone in chat find out what the Yiddish word for testicles is? I bet it's something like really, really funny. No.
Yeah, but do you know what I'm saying? Like how like Ben Shapiro had the courage to do this. He has had institutional backing his entire life. He played with whatever tune from Schindler's List in front of like Larry King when he was 12. Like, what did he drive himself there himself to play that? Like, what are you talking about, dude?
Man, Ben Shapiro is like, he's like the realist. He worked his way up, right? Like from the gutter, bro. You just don't understand, bro.
Mikhail Olsen's face right now is my face the entire time he's talking.
It's like, what?
especially to somebody with the kind of power and the kind of platform and the kind of sway that someone like Megyn Kelly does. Because Ben knows that if he, and this just shows how principled he is, and what I just said before to be true. He knows that if he starts rebuking people like Megyn Kelly, people like Candace Owens, people like Tucker Carlson and the rest of the woke right, as he's been consistently doing, people like Nick Fuentes, that he's going to alienate a large portion of his own audience. Because again, I've explained this in other videos, but the conservative media space, the viewership, the audience, people like you and me, is not that big in all retrospect. It's not, as far as who we're listening to, who a lot of conservatives are tapping into for their source of news and politics. There's really only a select few voices that are big enough to really pull in the conservative audience. Ben Shapiro's one of them, Tucker's one of them, Megyn's one of them, you get on the list, Matt Walsh, etc. And they know that if you alienate one of those people, including Candace Owens, that you're going to alienate a large part of your own audience. Speaking of these big name commentators. And so this just shows how principled Ben is. He doesn't care.
This fucking guy's principles, dude. Is he ever describing what his principles are? Or what he's saying? He's purely a rhetorician, but he's like a first year rhetorician student, right? Where he's not going into any depth.
But this is ridiculous, right? Like Shapiro's like overriding concern is Israel. So every other principle must bend to that. I mean, oh my God.
Okay, let's get to him showing the Ben Shapiro clip.
Hang on, we got some more super chats.
Okay, good,
before
because
we-
I need to take a breather before he talks about his balls again. Thank you.
Hey, the new GM for $10.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
This is what's starting to happen in my community now. Behind the paywall, we brigade somebody else's chat and they start giving that guy money. And so now they're going to try and sabotage me by now not giving me likes. Like this is starting to be a reoccurring theme.
Listen,
where,
mate,
where they
right?
may or may not go rogue on me, because the most important thing is the laughs and the goofs. All right.
Vox Populi, Vox Dei. And it does seem the Vox Populi is in favor of the milking. Look, I don't make the rules, mate, right? Like, just you got to give the people what you want, what they
Thank you
want.
so much, UGM.
King Solo Wings for $5. Good to
There
see
he
you, Solo
is.
Wings. Well, guys, you did it. Now I am a hard W Wang half. It's Christmas and we are white. It gets no better. Yes,
Yeah.
have a holly jolly white Christmas, everyone.
It is Race Realism Awareness Month.
Oh yeah.
It's still real. It's still real to me, damn it.
Double mumble for $5. If Ben has stones, this creature has a vagine.
But do you see what I'm saying? Like, he's got balls, like the stones on him. Like, dude, how old are you trying to act right now? The stones on him for doing like the most rudimentary thing possible that you would completely expect Ben Shapiro to do.
And also doing exactly the same stuff that he's been doing like for ages, right? Like this is nothing new from like Ben Shapiro, right? Like was anyone actually expecting him to like come out and be like, actually, I may have spoken too harshly about Tucker and we're all friends now. And, I'm going to like call up Netanyahu and tell him to like lay off all the censorship. I mean, like none of that is fucking happening. Just John, please, for $2, Rumble chat, lads.
This is true. We did neglect the Rumble chat. Also, fellas, you can say anything in the Rumble chat, and I will read what you donate in the Rumble chat. However, I can't show it on screen. So when you donate, feel free to literally say whatever you want, because I can't show it on screen anyway, and you can say whatever you want. Just John 95, $10 in the Rumble chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The closest thing Ben Shapiro has to balls are the ones he cut off of Matt Walsh when he hired him. Oh, Lord. I know, right? That is a good one. Very much appreciated. So feel free to be an absolute psychotic freak in the Rumble chat. And if you want your chats on screen, then you would go to YouTube. So let's see.
Right.
Let's get a look at this. They don't snip the balls, do they? They snip the wiener, but not the balls. I was going to try and describe Ben Shapiro's balls, but I think I'll let him do it. Here we go.
Been refusing to rebuke Candace for all the crap and the evil she's been spewing, who've been refusing to rebuke Tucker for all the crap he's been spewing, the anti-American, anti-conservative, anti-Western civilization garbage he's been up to lately. A lot of you who've been refusing to talk about this, refusing to rebuke it, refusing to tell the truth, just like Ben is willing to do. A lot of you are speaking on this stage right after me, speaking of America Fest. And then he calls them cowards. People like Megyn Kelly, people like Brandon Tatum, frankly, people like Jack Posobiec, people like Steve Bannon. These are the people that he's...
Brandon Tatum is a coward now? Didn't he fucking go to Israel? Didn't he talk to Netanyahu and he was like, only one child spit on me? Wait a minute. How is Brandon Tatum an enemy all of a sudden? What did he do wrong?
Didn't they call him Apak Shakur?
Yeah. What? How is he not pure enough? What is going on right now? I missed that one. I'll be looking at that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's very easy to get on the wrong side of the kosher centrists.
Fellas,
mate, right?
If you can find where Brandon Tatum went wrong, I'd love to know. I thought he was all in.
Rebuking to their face from the America Fest stage. I'm telling you guys, Ben Shapiro knows what time it is. So without further ado, let me roll this one clip for you. Check it out.
It's the job of those of us who try to shape public opinion to hold politicians to account and to hold them accountable to our values. We must not let fear of audience deter us from telling the truth. We must not let fear of other hosts deter us from telling the truth. So, for example, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk.
That did start off with some jeers, but continue.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name.
Is it just me, mate? Right?
Yeah.
Or is Benji? He's starting to channel like Vladimir Lenin, just a little, right? Like he's shaking his fist. He's like, we must denounce the unbelievers.
Well, here's the thing: they can't be the left and silence them. They have to still act like they support free speech, but then you're a witch. They put a scarlet letter on you. See, you can still say it, but we're gonna make you, try to make you unemployable by casting such an aspersion on your name. That's their entire goal. So it makes you respect the left more because the left is more honest, right? What really always bothers Fist is how they're not upfront with what they're doing. And so this is why like the kosher centrists are like less dangerous, but way more frustrating than the communists and the left, I feel like.
I don't know. I feel like if it wasn't just after woke, they totally would. They'd just be like honest. It's only because woke has already salted the ground so hard.
And they're using the same concepts and words.
Yeah. It's everyone's getting narrative whiplash, okay? Because they spent like 10 years like, woke is like horrible. I hate the woke. And then they literally just turn around and be like, hey, fellow kids, like, we don't want to be like the woke, but cancel those guys.
Dude, I still don't know how Brandon Tatum is catching fucking strays. I still don't know how.
Hey, maybe right. Shapiro is like taking from the James Lindsay school where he just start like spray and pray, like he just shots fired, like random people dropping in the audience, oh my bank account, oh.
I know, but like Brandon Tatum caught a pre-bar mitzvah loogie to the face, and they're still like, nope, you're out of the club. It's like he got clammed on by a child in Israel because he was a Christian. And that wasn't good enough. Okay, let's steamroll through this.
Erica Kirk and TPUSA never should have been put in the position to have to defend themselves against such specious and evil attacks, particularly in a time of mourning.
Trying to make himself seem so pissed off, he's just reading off a piece of paper.
And the people who refuse to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice. Yes, cowardice. The fact that they have said nothing while Candace has been vomiting all sorts of hideous and conspiratorial nonsense into the public square for years is just...
So he's probably going to call out Mark Levin for what he's been saying about Nick Fuentes, right? Because what he's been saying about Nick Fuentes has been really spicy.
Wait, yeah, we got a couple of super chats.
Well, let's just finish this out first.
Yeah, okay, let's finish this.
We've been trying to warn you. We've been Paul revering it over here.
He never describes what we tried to warn you. This is the we was kings of the woke centrists, because the kosher centrists. See, we told you. Like, he gets a slice of what Ben Shapiro just said somehow. Somehow he's been telling you this for years, even though he didn't start doing this stuff until like this year. He's acting like he's like, been trying to warn you guys. About what? Gibbs, that's mine.
And
right, yeah,
finally.
Been trying to warn us that like people are really, really fucking pissed off. Like, and how can we like stop them from complaining without actually changing anything on the ground at all?
It's political cold reading, where he's like, I told you that was going to happen.
It feels like people are listening. It feels like the rubber's meeting the road in a good sense, to the point where we have big name people like Ben Shapiro saying exactly what we've been trying to tell people for the last several years, and him getting a roaring applause for saying it. This just goes to show you as well, to wrap up this video, that Twitter is not real life.
He has to say that to himself, by the way. Twitter, like, he's saying that to himself. I've covered this. All right, we can start scooting along.
I just don't understand, right? Like, if Twitter is not real life because all the people on there are politicos, then how is AmFest any different, right? Like, AmFest is going to be like exactly the same, right? Like, all the people in the audience are going to be like politicals. Wait, okay, hang on. We got a few. We got a few super chats.
Absolutely.
Caesar the Great.
Thank you, Caesar.
Caesar for $5. Best argument against the moves. The reason they don't get presents from Santa is because they're all on the naughty list. Merry Christmas.
That is one of the most wholesome anti-Semitic things anyone's ever said in the chat. Thank you for that.
Did you ever hear about Nittelnacht, Artie? So
No.
it's a tradition. I don't know how common this is now, but apparently it used to be a thing, right? Where on Christmas Eve, all the moos would like stay up playing games, presumably because they were worried the Christians would start getting like rowdy, and they tell their children that Jesus was like roaming the latrines and might like reach out of the latrine and grab you. Nittelnacht. I've got no idea if this is true, but I read it somewhere anyway. Let's see. Bryce Gasper for $5.
Thank you, mate.
Did you see Ben review It's a Beautiful Life and say how the banker who wants to take over the town is the
No
good
way.
guy? Oh,
No fucking way. No
seriously.
fucking way, dude.
He's gonna review A Christmas Carol and be like, yeah, the big problem with The Christmas Carol is that like Scrooge like became a good person in the
That's
end.
literally like a Sniper Anon AI skit. That
Oh my
can't
God.
be true.
Yeah. King Solo Wings for $5. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brandon asked to get sped on by the Moo Kid.
Dude. What did he do? I've only heard from Mikhail Olsen, to be fair, who is legitimately retarded. So
So according to Ardent Party, Nittelnacht is still a thing. Okay, thank you very much, Ardent. Double Mumble for $5. This just tells me that Ben's parents were also sold by Barry Weiss's dad. And Scabbage 124 for $5. You guys ever go over the moos doing things to baby their Metsitsa Bepair? No, we haven't covered circumcision.
No. I don't even know why we cover what we do. Love that. All right. Now you take it away.
All right. Okay. So we also have, I mean, this is the point, right? So Shapiro's entire speech is exactly what everyone's just getting really fucking tired of, right? Like, don't listen to that person. Don't listen to that person. This person's a Nazi. That person's a racist. Like,
Yeah.
Like literally everyone's just like, oh my God, get new material. Like for fuck's sake.
For example, if you host a Hitler apologist, Nazi-loving, anti-American piece of refuse like Nick Fuentes,
Crank the volume.
That's as high as I can crank it.
you know, the Nick Fuentes who said that the vice president of the United States is a, quote, fat gay race traitor married to a Jeet.
Still.
The person who said
They're still recycling the same.
God, dude.
Right.
This is what they did with Trump in 2016. They'll
Yeah.
never learn.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're just gonna keep saying it, right? Like, is this the best you've got, Ben?
that Charlie Kirk was a, quote, retarded idiot. The person who said, and pardon my language here, it's his quote, that he, quote, took Turning Point USA and fucked it, and that's why it's filled with groypers. If you have that person on your show and you proceed to blaze him, you ought to own it.
Well, actually, you know what? Can you pause this for a second?
Yeah.
Like, didn't the ADL consider the Turning Point like a hate organization?
Yes, they did.
And then they took it down after he was assassinated. Wouldn't that be more of an egregious act toward Turning Point than Nick Fuentes? It's weird. I don't know why he wouldn't call out the ADL though. That's just it's a mystery to me.
That is weird, right? Maybe he's got like a record deal with them or something like that. I hear like they've got like a record label.
He did do a song with Tom McDonald. That was a great
Did
one.
he? Oh my God. Fucking hell. Oh, I bet that's so fucking cringe. Holy
hurts.
shit.
There is a reason that Charlie Kirk despised Nick Fuentes, and indeed even chided Dinesh D'Souza for debating him. He knew that Nick Fuentes is an evil troll, and that building him up is an act of moral imbecility. And that is...
You know, one of the things I keep noticing about people such as Ben and the other kosher centrists, they love to talk about good and evil, like in the vaguest possible terms. Like they're always like, and if you get into arguments with these kinds of people, they're like, you know, oh, what is good? What is evil? Like, and just like they're these like weird, just amorphous principles like out there. And, you know, and thank goodness we have, you know, wise Rabbi Ben Shapiro to tell us all the difference between good and evil, because we wouldn't be able to figure it out without him, quite frankly.
Well, I noticed this with the left where I would call it splitting. Everything's good or bad. There's no in between.
Yeah, exactly.
precisely what Tucker Carlson did. He built Nick Fuentes up, and he ought to take responsibility for that, just as he ought to take responsibility for glazing pornographer and alleged sex trafficker Andrew Tate, or for mainstreaming fake historian and pseudo-Nazi apologist Daryl Cooper as America's best and most honest popular historian.
Oh, he's got all the hits, all the greatest, all the greatest hits, man. Fucking Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson and Daryl Cooper and Andrew Tate and
He's not trying to silence anybody. He's just trying to like, if anyone laughed as he's doing this, as if they wouldn't be canceled, right? This is the mind games that they play. So he wants to instill this vibe in the room that you can't go against what he's saying. But hey, you know, he's not really trying to cancel anybody. He's just saying, hey, freedom of speech, you know?
it's so Bolshevik. Is
Right.
my point, right? Like it's like right, like you know, we must confront the class enemies and traitors who are trying to, you know, derail the project of socialism. Like this guy and that guy, you know, and that guy he said like thing, and another guy supported him. It's like fucking dude, just give it a rest. Holy shit, bro.
Oh my God. Dude. John Jackson for $5. Ben reading all of those quotes from Nick needs to get clipped and go on the soundboard. Having Ben Shapiro say Nick Fuentes. Oh, dude. Genius. That's yours. That's for posterity. That is a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, that is a great idea. Thank you very much. Okay. So then, right, you're never gonna believe this, chat. Horror of horrors. Ben had to take questions at the end, right?
Why would they allow this?
I presume this is his least popular part of the thing, right? Like, you know, like Ben is the kind of person, he does the talking to you, right? He doesn't want to be asked questions by filthy audience members, right? But I guess it's part of the format. And one of those filthy audience members had the temerity to ask him about the USS Liberty, right? Look, it was a long time ago, okay, right? Don't look back in anger. We need to talk more about the Holly and slavery and stuff, right? Fucking hell. Okay.
You cited during your speech truth as the most important tenet of American conservatism. Why, therefore, did you call irrelevant the Israeli attack in 1967 on the USS Liberty, which left dozens of American servicemen dead and hundreds wounded?
Listen to that cheering.
And like the only, aside from asking like Netanyahu this question, like this is like the number 2 person you'd want to ask this question to in a room full of people, right? Like that's
Yeah, exactly.
waiting a long time to ask this, where he thinks he's kind of safe at a home game. You know, he doesn't expect this to happen.
Well, you see, guys, there's truth and there's truth, and you know, and you don't want to like focus on the truth. You want to focus on the truth. You know, it's very, very complicated. Fortunately, I will be here to tell you the difference between the truth and the truth.
So what I actually said is that if we're looking at modern Israeli-American relations, looking at an attack that happened mistakenly by multiple Navy reports, multiple Israeli reports, and all available evidence, and using that attack in order to undermine today's relations between Israel and America, that's irrelevant. As irrelevant as it would be to cite a piece of evidence from World War II or from 1776 to define America's relations with, for example, Great Britain or Germany today. That does not mean that the attack wasn't horrible for the Americans involved, that it wasn't bloody and terrible. The Israeli government paid reparations to the people who were killed. If you look at the actual military record of what happened on the USS Liberty, it was clearly a mistaken and tragic attack. The people who frequently cite the USS Liberty, however, are not talking about the specifics of the USS Liberty. I suspect that the vast majority of people who bring this up are doing so in order to suggest that Israel deliberately attacked an American ship because Israel deliberately wants to harm America. It is connected generally with a larger point. I wonder if that's your point.
That's not the point. That's not the point at all. The point is the suspicion and question that when it comes down to a conflict between Israeli interests and American interests, Israeli interests will always predominate. That's the fucking, that's the assertion. But I mean, you know, like, you know, who am I to gainsay, you know, Rabbi Ben, right?
If the truth matters, then the Israeli government must be held accountable for that attack. The American flag was flying on that ship. You do not mistake an American ship for a foreign one when our flag is flying.
Dude,
So-
he's meeting his energy.
We can spend the rest of
too.
the time talking about the specifics of the U.S. Liberty attack, or you can actually go look at the naval investigations that were done, multiple naval investigations that were done. The reality is that people were flying Mirage planes for the Israeli military at the time. The USS Liberty was sailing in an area where it had essentially gone off-grid. The Israeli military mistook it for an Egyptian ship. They thought it was shelling Al Arish, which happened not to be true. In the initial attack, the American flag was knocked down, and then the attack went on for about 90 minutes. And then as soon, you can hear this
flag
by
was
the way, on the
knocked
tapes of
down.
the Israeli pilots
Yeah, that's not what
The
the
flag was
survivors
knocked down.
say, right? Like, but look, I am sure, okay, right? Like, you got to understand, right? Like, Ben is a lover of truth, right? So I'm sure that we can take his account of this as gospel, right? I mean, would Ben Shapiro in any way, like, distort the truth? He just said how much he loves the truth, bro.
The
Talking to each
flag
other.
was knocked down is hilarious, dude. the flag tripped and fell for a moment.
Yeah, that's right, right? Yeah, who knows?
As soon as they realize that it's an American ship, they call off the attack. They speed a ship to try and help the USS Liberty. There have been multiple unfortunate friendly fire incidents between Allied forces, including, for example, in the Gulf War, where U.S. forces were responsible for killing about 9 British troops during the Gulf War. It's an unfortunate reality of war. But you're not answering my question, which is, what is your broader agenda in asking the question? Because I suspect that your question is not limited to your specific ire over an incident that happened in 1967.
I think we should question any foreign country's relationship with our government.
That's totally fine, but I'm
Especially when
just
it's
wondering why
not
you
serve
love it.
American interests.
Again, I'm perfectly fine with questioning any country's relationship with the United States. But again, I'm wondering what your motivation is in bringing up a 6-decade-old attack as though it is the #1 issue in a
This is just him basically being like, "That's very interesting that you asked that question." Like, what do you mean by asking that question?
assessing the relationship.
you can do that to anybody, just endlessly deconstruct and investigate. Yeah, but why are you asking that? And then if you answer, you can just keep asking, why are you asking that? Because you answered the question.
Yeah, and then you don't have to answer the question exactly.
Between Israel and the United States today.
Well, many problems persist to this day, but it's interesting that you say 6-decade-old incident when there are many people in this audience who were alive for that attack, as if this is something that's irrelevant.
Well,
It doesn't
no, it's just not particularly relevant to assessing the relationship between the United States and Israel today, in the same way that in 1967, there are a wide variety of countries with which the United States had different relations. Okay, it's clear you're not going to actually answer the question, so I'm happy to move to this one.
Too soon. Okay, hang on, we
A
got
little Rodney Dangerfield adjusting the tie there. Oh my all right.
Drains for 2 Canadian loonies. Look at the size of that land whale holding the mic.
Yeah, that was a very, very common sentiment in the chat. to put it
Oh my
nicely.
God,
That's you, baby.
20
Get his
US
ass.
dollars.
Get that boy there.
Of the Exilarchs. It looks like one Hushiel went rogue and started the religion of peace. His history was changed to the modern Muhammad's when the Gaonim regained control during the Abbasids. I am not aware of that story, K-Tess. I will clip that comment and stick it in, and I will look into that. Thank you. I have often wondered about the relationship between Islam and Judaism because there's quite a lot of similarities. I'll look into that. Thank you very much.
Doesn't Islam validates Jesus Christ as existing, right?
Yeah, well, there's a theory that Islam originally was actually sort of a Unitarian Christianity, and then the Moors sort of like got their claws into it, their fingers into it, and gave it that whole like sort of massive kind of totalitarian legalistic basis that you get in Judaism, where there's like a law to like, wipe your ass and a way to go through doors and no. And so that's why it's this sort of weird fusion of the two. I mean, the timing is about 800 AD, if I'm correct, which would sort of place it, I think, around the time that they wrote the Babylonian Talmud. So yeah, I'll look into that. Thanks very much, K-Tess. Okay, so what else have we got? Oh, yeah.
We do have real quick, John Jackson, $5. Thank you so much, mate. Don't focus on a 6-decade-old event, he said without an ounce of introspection. Dude, it's like, it's so obvious, dude. You didn't want to say anything.
Oh my God. And we also got this Michael Allen for $2. Love you, brothers. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
So James Lindsay, he kind of jumped the gun there a little, mate, right? Like,
yeah.
immediately after Ben Shapiro's speech, he tweeted this out. It seems plausible from what I'm hearing and seeing that Ben Shapiro just concretely demonstrated that the tide has turned decisively against the woke right at America Fest. Right?
Celebrating yeah, dude, imagine it's like halftime during a game and you're like, well, better go home, we've already won this one. It's like, I think there's like more that's going to be happening before you can make that determination.
He's like, oh, well, obviously, like, Tucker's not going to do very well. Tucker didn't do very well. He did another tweet. I couldn't find it. He tweets so freaking much. It's like insane. But, he's like, oh, I don't feel quite so good after like Tucker came out. And we have some clips. Tucker was en fuego, bros, right? He was on fire, firing on all cylinders. And it really demonstrates that the split in the Republican Party is now complete. I mean, this is what they wanted, right? The kosher centrists, like they started a war with the Groypers and everyone else thinking, like, oh, if we don't start this war, we're going to lose at the next election. Then why didn't you keep your fucking mouth shut, right? Until like the midterms. Or why didn't you just keep your fucking mouth shut? But oh no, right? So now they've got what they wanted, right? And there are now two wings of the Republican Party. There is, broadly speaking, the America First wing, and there is the kosher wing. And Tucker is the avatar, broadly speaking, I guess the more respectable avatar, since, they'd never let Fuentes on stage at America First, at least not now.
Point. And then
right?
It's funny because as soon as they have shitty things to say about each other, it's like, dude, good. You don't know what happens behind the scenes. Clearly their messaging is pretty fucking aligned.
Right, but still, broadly speaking,
yeah.
It all comes down to basically whether you think Israel should be ruling America or not. That's really all it comes down to.
Well, yes, and to expound on what you're saying, additionally calling out anti-Semitism and anti-white discrimination in the same conversation never happens.
Yep.
To question your motives, actually, why can't you answer the question? Why can't you answer that question? Why do you have to imply that some college kid is like some kind of Hitlerite or something as he's asking about an event? Like, what? By the way, it is okay to ask questions. And I thought that was the whole reason we were against the...
I thought this was America.
That's exactly what it feels like.
They're not going to force you to get up there and make ritual denunciations because this isn't my religion, it's politics. By the way, your politics do not trump my love for other people. I remember my brother once said...
So Tucker coming in basically like, sort of flexing on Ben, being like, why did you just like imply this kid was like a Nazi for asking about the USS Liberty? Woof. Oh yeah. And this is sort of the more centrist kind of like if you took Fuentes and you kind of liberalized it a little bit, this is what you get. So it could be that Tucker is trying to sort of shepherd the Fuentes right back onto a sort of more acceptable reservation.
1 second. Dude, Rumble gives us 50% of the super chats. Okay.
Really?
Please don't give us any money on Rumble. Okay. That's abusive. All right. Please relegate that to YouTube. Much appreciated. For $1, unblockable player on Rumble. I heard you guys like Ben or Knob. By the way, it's King Solo Wings. Okay. I mean, Mom died in the Holly guy, 5e book. Ben just solidified Nick into history. This entire thing about the moose, Ben is confirming. Yeah, exactly. But please only on YouTube for the love of God that is abusive.
Right.
So anti-Semitism is not just naughty, it's immoral. And it is precisely as immoral as hating any other group. And that would include other groups in the United States that are hated and have been under attack for decades. And that would include white men who did nothing to become white men. They were born that way. And just because you have a beef with a white man, let's just say Donald Trump, doesn't mean you get to punish all the rest of the white men in the country. And yet, our leaders, not just of our Congress, the executive branch under Biden, but of every major U.S. corporation, of every college in the country, probably except Hillsdale and 2 others, every single one for more than 10 years has engaged in a systematic effort to hurt white men because they are white men. That is racism
never been said.
that is precisely as bad as anti-Semitism, but it is much more widespread and has been so far much more damaging. And my point is, if you said nothing about that, or if you encouraged it,
oh my God,
by say cheering on BLM, which was an anti-white hate group, and said so, then you have no moral standing to lecture me about bias.
This is like what we've been saying the past like month or so, dude.
Yep.
And he's
Yep.
saying it here. It's fucking incredible.
And this is the thing. He is pressing on the weakest point of the kosher right, which is that they preach universalism, but they practice exceptionalism. This is the fundamental problem. This is why client groups, favored client groups, are incredibly destabilizing to any kind of liberal democracy or any kind of government that espouses universal values. You can't basically say that everyone follows the same laws except for these guys, because that whole, I mean, this is what's happened. You gave exception to these people, and then the blacks are like, hey, we want some of that, and then the gays are like, we want some of that, and then the trans are like, oh, hey, we want some of that. So if you violate sort of universalism for like a specific group, it all goes to shit, and it can't really be defended because Shapiro and all of his ilk have spent all of this time saying, oh yes, we believe in isonomia, we believe that the same laws should apply to everyone, but they don't believe that. They do not. And as we will document further in the show, with all of the weird anti-Semitism crap they are about to pass to like just undermine and destroy the First Amendment, eventually this means that you cannot have any kind of universal liberalism.
Period. Because all bias is the same. You are not allowed to hate people based on their bloodline. We do not believe in blood guilt. We reject blood guilt. That's why our justice system is just. That's why our religion is just. Every person has the possibility of transformation. Paul is wandering around, Saul of Tarsus is wandering around murdering Christians. Then he decides, well, I'll walk to Syria, and he's met on the road by Jesus, who changes him, and in one day he becomes the most energetic church planter and apostle of Christianity. In one day. He went from enemy to leader in one day. And that possibility exists for every human being, every human being. That's what our Christian faith tells us. That's also what our eyes tell us. There are no permanent enemies. There cannot be. And I would extend this to even people who attack me from the stage. They say, if we agree on something, I'm happy to be friends with you. You may have been mean to me one day. Well, I was mean to you too. That's all right. There is always the possibility that we can recognize we have more in common than divides us and come back together. There are no permanent enemies. There is no such thing as blood guilt, and collective punishment in this country, in the Middle East, anywhere on the planet is totally immoral. And if you want to know what makes America exceptional, it's that idea. And it's our job to defend it. So I guess I would just say to the many organizations now, and particularly this applies to the Anti-Defamation League, which has cheered on anti-white hatred for decades, has attacked anyone who said anything about it, which has been one of the most aggressive cheerleaders for hate against white men in the United States, now trying to lecture the rest of us about hate, I would say,
wow,
it's enough to point out the irony of that. Come to our side, which is the side of humanity, and oppose all hate.
They're not human. They're not human.
The side of humanity. Oh, mate, that no. Tucker doesn't get to you. That's our phraseology, right? Like
they'll turn it into they're not humans. They'll turn it into that.
Like, oh, but
well, I mean, we've covered.
You watch the ADL will say like Tucker calls the ADL not human.
But I mean, we've covered that like a few times now that the ADL has been around since like 1913, and before that, 1847, which it was a global Mooish international fraternal organization. Yep. So it's not like a new thing. It wasn't like it was created in the 90s, because no, it was literally around during slavery. Like that's how long this institution has been around in our country that's been doing this. It's not a new thing.
Yeah, it's probably almost certain it's older than both the Democrat and Republican parties.
Right.
So
yes.
I mean,
yes, the Moose, that's a great point. The Moose have institutions in the United States that are older than our current political parties. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Against all people. Say out loud, hate against whites is every bit as bad as hate against Jews. It's a universal principle, or it's not a principle. It's just a preference.
Now, see, this is exactly what I'm saying, right? Is it a universal principle or isn't it? And how the fuck are they supposed to even defend this point? And of course they won't. They'll just say, "Oh, your Tucker is bad, man," right? But what are you going to do?
If it's not a universal principle, it's not a principle, it's just a preference. It's just identity politics. And we've had enough of that. And that's the one thing that will destroy this country, certainly. The only thing that will save it is the understanding that principles upon which America was founded apply to every single human being always. So
If only.
By way of saying that I'm not just situationally opposed to anti-Semitism, I'm actually opposed to anti-Semitism. And I hope that the ADL will join me. I'll send them money, by the way, if they come out against hate aimed at anyone and everyone.
Pause it. I mean, yeah. So
you're gonna be waiting a while there, Tucker.
So I have shown this before. I'm going to show it again because.
Hang on, let me do a couple of super chats while you're King Solo Wings for $2. I don't know how to give more than 99 on Rumble. You mean
please
99 cents or 99 bucks? Right.
No.
Thank you
no
very
Rumble,
much.
Please.
And $2 from Master Shake. Hey, Master Shake, how you doing, mate?
There he is.
James's Repressive Tolerance Neo Cow edition.
That's, I believe, Neo Cow is his. I really like Neo Cow.
Neo Cow.
I don't know how to think of it.
It sounds like a weird anime toy. Neo Cows.
Neo Cow.
Like
Neo Cow.
Neo Cow. Okay.
We good? Okay.
Yeah, we good.
Has a Mooish NGO ever advocated for white people? The query asks if any NGO explicitly identified as Mooish, founded by, led by, or primarily serving the Mooish community, has ever publicly advocated specifically for white people, interpreted here as promoting the interests, rights, or advancement of white people as a racial or ethnic group. This could include efforts against discrimination targeting whites, support for white cultural preservation, or advocacy framed around white identity. Based on extensive searches across the web and X discussions, no such examples exist. They have a history of broad human rights. You like how white isn't included in broad human rights? And anti-discrimination work, often rooted in Mooish values of Tikkun Olam, which we have covered on this channel. However, their advocacy typically focuses on marginalized groups, racial minorities, immigrants, so people outside of the country, by the way, LGBTQ plus people, and explicitly opposes white supremacy or racial hierarchies that privilege whites. When addressing whiteness, it is usually critiqued as a system of power rather than defended. So any white collectivization, according to every single Mooish institution in the country, organization, has not allowed whites to collectivize because they view it as supremacy. So we'll have a nice chat with Eric Arval, the president of Return to the Land, Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to talk about how that's completely ethical and can be done under a liberal framework. Very excited for that conversation. Back to you, Fist.
Right. So, as if that wasn't bad enough from Tucker. Tucker, he's been a bad boy. He's gonna get a spanking on the testicles. He then went on to say that killing innocent people isn't a Christian value. Yeah, I wonder who he's referring to there.
We are called to be righteous, but not self-righteous. And we're also called, and I have to say this before opening it up to your hostile questions, we should also be very on guard against people who try to leverage the word of God, the words of Jesus, for political ends. That is a dangerous thing to do. I don't want to do that. And I attempt every time. This is all sort of new to me. I'm so obviously not a great Christian that it's not like a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, I want to be like him. But there are people, particularly Christian ministers, I have noticed, who are preaching a political message and pretending that it's the gospel. So let me just say, and I think my theology is right, I'm hardly a theologian, God is not on any country's side. Certain countries can decide to be on God's side, and that is true for people too, okay?
Really feels like he's on the side of the West.
He doesn't have a nationality, And if someone is telling you otherwise, that is just not true. It is not true. And I would also call your attention to the very obvious prohibitions in the New Testament against killing the innocent. We are not, as Christians, allowed to kill the innocent, period.
Ooh.
We are not.
I mean, hang on. That sounds a little.
That's anti-citrus.
Oh, interesting.
That's a little anti-citrus, bro.
And you see elaborate arguments on behalf of doing so or ignoring it. Oh, that always happens in war. Well, you're right. One of the reasons I'm not that into wars. But when it does happen, unavoidably, we have to say that's wrong. We have to say that. We have to acknowledge that was wrong. And I'm sorry for the extent to which I participated in it. Forgive me. Because killing people who committed no crime is immoral. It will always be immoral. And people who do it will be punished for it. And nations that endorse it will be punished for it. That's a fact. And you are seeing now a very intense effort to convince you otherwise. Oh, it's fine. They deserved it. Really, did their children deserve it? If a man commits a crime, do we kill his kids?
Holy shit. Can you
Yeah.
Oh, bro. This is why they did not want.
The moos are the only ones that are allowed to imply things when they speak, okay?
Yeah. Holy shit.
I don't care if it's in Minneapolis or Gaza City. No, we don't. And if we do accidentally, we say, I am so sorry that we murdered someone who did nothing wrong, because it is murder. And to see Christian pastors make excuses for that is one of the most, and that's not a partisan question. That is not a political question. That is the only question that matters. Do we have the right to murder people? And the resounding answer that Christianity provides us is no. I don't get into the whole debate, I didn't even know the terms, dispensationalist, or whatever, replacement. I'm an Episcopalian, okay? I don't enter these debates.
I love this guy.
My theology is super simple. I like the Beatitudes. Read them yesterday. I actually think, was it Michael reading them, some of them here? I think any honest person would say it's the essence of the Christian faith. And killing tens of thousands of children and then making excuses for it on behalf of a foreign government is not in there. It's antithetical to that. Sorry.
Sorry.
It doesn't make me a hater. It makes me the opponent of hate. So now that I've alienated most of the crowd.
Super aware of what he's doing.
Oh my God. Hilarious. Suck Duck for $5. How to defeat the US isn't a people argument. Reference the beginning of the Federalist paper. Thank you very much, mate. So
by the way, Federalist Papers, they needed their anonymity to do that for all these people that are like, show your face. I want to know where you live when you're saying things about them.
Yeah. And then Tucker took aim at AIPAC. So I mean, he's just been fucking going like full ham, man.
Is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, commonly known as AIPAC, is them being in America and not registered with FARA like all other lobbying groups in America, is that America first? Is it America first for senators, Congress, and even our president to take money from AIPAC?
Is it America first to take money from a foreign lobby so you'll send taxpayer dollars to that country? Even the question kind of answers itself. Obviously it isn't. And that's not an attack on Israel. It's certainly not anti-Semitism, despite the efforts of many to claim that it is. It's just an obvious statement. And the fact that people are attacked for asking the question, this is something that I talked to Charlie a lot about in his final months, because he was being attacked as an anti-Semite for asking that question.
Which he talked about.
But yep. I was there, so I saw it. That's not the right way. Don't attack people's motives. And I have a lot to attack people's motives. I do that. Respond to what they're saying, right? And so, no, of course it's not. And it's totally fine to ask about why a foreign government tried to sink one of our ships in 1967. That doesn't make you an anti-Semite, sorry. Those are Americans who died. And by the way, yeah, whatever. Anyway, but the point is, no, of course not. And that's why they won't have the conversation. And my point is, I'm 56, my kids are grown. I'm just not afraid of you at all. I don't hate you or anyone else. I love this country. I'm going to be here till I die. I have an absolute God-given right to ask these questions. And I'm going to keep doing that, period. And you can shoot me or put me in jail, but the questions won't go away. So no, of course it's not. And that's why they respond with like rage and shame because you caught him doing something they can't defend. Duh.
Tucker Carlson didn't kill himself, bro.
dude, right?
Fuck, man.
Yeah, you could hear in the background all the little cicada noises from the moose.
Yeah. So at the same time that this is going down, right? We have Trump has
Dude, can we
revealed.
I haven't asked him. We need to check in on Vishbara after this, okay? I want to know.
Oh yeah. Well, like, I can't fucking believe this, right? Like, dude, check this shit out.
And these people do like Israel. Hold on. And he loves Israel too.
It's true.
That grip.
6 years ago, I was up here, and I said, "This is our first Jewish president."
He's giving him the Vulcan neck
He's
pinch
the
on his
first
fucking
Jewish
shoulder,
president
dude.
to serve two.
And these people do like Israel.
Look at how he grabs him. Watch it again.
Yep.
And mute it, and we'll just watch it, and I'll talk over it.
Yep.
Look at the grip that he has on him.
Yep.
Dude, it's weird that he's telling us I have your president with how he's grabbing his neck like that. Not on his shoulder, but dude, that's like a power move. That's to let you know we have him. He's ours. And I'm going to say what I want about
him.
him.
And look at the submissive body language from Trump as well.
Right?
Right? He's like looking down, like, oh my God. It's just, dude.
Yeah. You work
and
for
then,
me, boy. That's what it feels like.
And then he had Miriam Adelson come up. And
Mind you, this is who, like, how many times has Nick Fuentes brought up Miriam Adelson's name?
Yeah.
He's brought up her name so many times when he's
Yep.
having these giant public conversations.
Yep.
Miriam Adelson. You want to come up, Miriam? Come up here, Miriam. Miriam gave my campaign indirectly and directly $250 million. She was number one.
Why say that publicly?
When somebody can give you $250 million, I think that we should give her the opportunity to say hello. And Miriam, make it quick, because $250 million is not what it used to be.
Ay, Dios mío. Yeah, but Antonio, dig it.
Wait. Where's the...
Dang! Did you come?
Wait, I got another one as well.
Oh, you're on the payroll of the Jews.
It's not exactly like what Nick Fuentes has been saying. Where's the Nick Fuentes was right jar?
Yeah,
Honestly.
seriously, right? He should steal one from James Lindsay and get like the Nick Fuentes was right jar. But you can stash it next to the 4chan was right jar. Like,
Oh my
holy
God.
shit. I mean, this is just obscene. My God, do you think, how do they not see how badly this is going to like play? Do they just like,
you've explained it perfectly already. The elites talking to the elites.
yeah, exactly. I mean, or perhaps they feel like they're so confident in their position they don't even need to like be subtle.
Or they're under attack, so they really have to do a show of power.
Oh yeah.
What else do they have? They had the same strategy over and over again, but now they're going to rely on showing like this is our guy for the next 3 years. This belongs to us. They just came on his back, okay, and wrote their name in it.
Dude,
Incredible woman with a great husband, a man that loved Israel.
Well, Mr. President, when
Yikes.
you were in the Israeli parliament and you gave a speech and you saw me from far away, at that time I came with a scooter to the parliament just to hear you. I wanted to hear you alive. And then you said, Miriam Adelson, and I stood for a second, but it was so painful, so I said. Then you screamed, Miriam, stand up!
Mother of God.
And I wish you would have known, but I stood up and heard all your compliment, and thank you very much.
I saw you back there standing.
Yeah, you saw me.
She stood
Thank
up
you.
bravely.
And now I met Alan Dershowitz, and he said the legal thing about 4 more years. And I say, Alan, I agree with you. So we can do it. Think about
Yeah.
it.
He's
I
here
would be,
someplace. Where's Al?
And the
Alan
crowd
is
goes
here.
mild.
Oh, he had the flights. Alan is here.
Oh my God, dude. I need to find Nick Fuentes reacting to this, by the way, to the Mark Levin one and to the Donald Trump one.
But her husband Sheldon.
Yeah, I'll give you another 250 million. Yeah,
I need to see Nick Fuentes' reaction to this clip.
Was an amazing guy, and he'd come up to the office, and there was nobody more aggressive than Sheldon. I think I spent more time with him and you, because you usually came up together, but he'd call and say, can I come over, please? I say, Sheldon, I'm president of the United States. It doesn't work that way anymore. It's like maybe tomorrow. How about tomorrow? No, please, just for a little while. And I would,
All right,
he'd always
Fish,
say
you're
10
breaking my
minutes.
heart.
It turned out to be about an hour.
Mate. I mean,
We get it. We get it. Okay.
Should I-
Really
should I-
hard. to
should I
back
play
home,
that?
boy.
Should I play that Murdoch?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, dude, imagine if I denied you that. How long is this? What is this? A decade old? Calling it this far out? Is it 10 years?
Yeah.
ago?
So for those of you who are not
Right.
aware, there's a band cartoon called Murdoch, and 10 years ago they made this, and it is scary, like, but also funny. Enjoy.
Excuse me, Mr. Conductor. I'd like to get off this train, and I demand a full refund.
Oh, hello. Donald, look. We've got company. Juju come! Me want some Juju come! Donald, you've had enough Juju come today. Now we have guests.
I, was not expecting that. Listen, I was wondering if I could just... Oh, hello, Dr. Murdoch. I'm glad to see you've made it. Uh-oh. Don't look now. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar have just showed up, and they look real mad. I hate white people and Jews so much. I hate white people and Jews too. Let's conquer the USA with socialism and Islam. Oh my gosh, Dr. Murdoch. Looks like these radicals really hate us Europeans and Jews. Man, maybe we should team up and put a stop to this menace. What do you think, President Donald Trump? Don't you think we should team up?
Me want some Juju come! Donald, I told you. We'll feed you when we get home.
Come on, Jared. Just give him what he wants. He's been such a good little boy after all.
Okay, fine. I spoil you rotten, Donald. Oh.
You know,
yeah.
You guys can just keep the refund. I just kind of want to go home.
Yay! Juju come!
So for you to see this happen with Trump, dude, did you lose your shit when you saw it? Is this the first thing you thought of?
I just was like, oh my God, man. Like, seriously,
It's
like gratuitous, man. Like, so gratuitous. Like, I mean, just
mind
mate.
you just showed Trump with cum all over his face, and we're not talking about that being gratuitous. That's how gratuitous it was.
Right. But Murdoch is just a cartoon, right? Trump is like the leader of like the second largest economy in the entire fucking world. So, you know, it's like this, you know, argument they use against Fuentes, like, oh, he said bad stuff. Yeah, but you're doing bad stuff.
Like, right. They don't. Yeah, the difference between words. I've been saying this with the left for a few years now, where they want you focused on and scared of the right wing's words, so you can ignore the left wing's violence. Little I know, I just had to swap out what left wing meant.
Speaking of, we got some super chats.
Yes, mate. Get his ass. Get his ass.
Hang on, wait.
Get his ass, boy.
Sneering imperialist for $10 US. So glad that the USS Liberty is being mentioned. Too many normies don't know about it. Yeah, I feel like this is going to become like a thing, basically, right? Yeah,
there's a lot of visibility with that.
Yeah. It's gonna be a thing. But I mean, maybe Israel can make a formal apology or something like that, right? But they won't,
right?
You know, Modern Magus for $5 US.
Thank you, man.
Trump really will endorse anyone who pays him even a modicum of lip service. Very disappointing. Yeah, mate. I know.
That really is his Achilles heel, because he can't turn down a good compliment. And what do the moos do? That's how they slide their way in.
Mate, it's just fucking. Oh, I just like it's so blatant. Is what really gets me, right? Like you just be like, oh, dude.
No, the way that Mark Levin grabbed Trump, I've seen men grab their battered wives in public before, and I'm like, oh, that sucks to be her. And I would just suck if she was my president. I'm like, oh, well, she's getting the shit beaten out of her at home. I hope she can still run the country. That's how it felt seeing that.
It's a mooish power move. I've seen them do this before. There was one who did it with Emmanuel Macron, the French president. Like literally just grabbed his hand and like forced it above his. I think it was when they got like the IHRA definitions through or something like that. Speaking of which, I hope I hear you have this thing called like is it the First Amendment? I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys don't have that?
No. But
wait, but what happens when you guys like say like a racial slur?
Oh, we get thrown in jail.
I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
it's great. I really can't complain. Like I honestly I can't complain.
You can't complain. You'll fucking go to jail.
Right. But I mean, you are about to also have some of that sweet qualified. Right, it's not an absolute right. It's a
we never have to worry
right.
about anything. You guys are always going to be like that, and we'll always be like this. Like the country's always been. The country's always been like how it is now. How are you really anticipating a rapid shift in our laws in a short amount of time? Well, I don't. This country's not like that at all.
I am certainly anticipating a concerted push to do that. I mean, like maybe the Supreme Court will like strike it down, or maybe Trump will just like sign an executive order or something like that. So next part of the show is just all the unhinged censorship shit that has come out since the Bondi shooting. Okay. And it's clearly like,
you want to just give a brief overview of that shooting?
Yeah. I
mean, we just talked about speech laws and I'm like, yeah, go ahead and extreme details to explain what happened.
No, so I'm not going to go into much detail.
I know.
Basically, there was like a Hanukkah party on Bondi Beach, and a bunch of people got like shot, supposedly by 2 Islamic terrorists. It's sussy, man, right? Like it strikes me as very, very psyopy. There's just like a bunch of weird stuff about it. But the thing is, my sort of rubric for judging psyops now is that the more political utility you can get from any given event, the more likely it is to be a psyop, right? That's kind of my starting way of looking at it, right? And given the timing and the need for something to enable this kind of political utility, and the fact that it looks like they had all this shit lined up and ready to go, my psyopy sense is tingling. Let's just put it that way. And since then, there has just been so much stuff coming out, just being like, oh, we need censorship. Right. I mean, in Australia is like completely screwed, basically, right? Like they're just totally coming out. They're going to have like even more hate speech laws. They're going to like lock more people up and no. Are they targeting the muzzies? Hell no. It's all targeted at the whites, right? Which you would think, okay, given supposedly it was like 2 muzzies that did the shooting, you would think that they would be focused on the Muslim community. But for some reason, all these laws are mainly aimed at the whites. I can't.
Well, you would think that when we think about globalism and how the moos have been globally connected for centuries now, and how the whites keep getting attacked across the West, that people would, I don't know, make a connection there possibly. Oh, wait a minute. They kind of made that illegal across the West, didn't they? Wouldn't that be additional evidence as to what's going on, possibly?
So this is the founder of Stop Anti-Semitism, basically saying that they want to spin up like a global cancel culture regime. Enjoy, bros.
I would now like to welcome to the stage Leora Rez, founder and executive director of Stop Anti-Semitism, a watchdog organization that publicly exposes anti-Semitic behavior, creating consequences for those who espouse bigotry toward the Jewish people. Leora?
Oh, goy. Uh-oh.
Tonight, I speak not just
Physiognomy.
about a problem, but an actual fight. a fight that the
Pause it real
Jewish
quick.
community did not choose.
She
But-
looks like she could fucking win a fight with that goddamn jawline, dude. Sweet mother of God. How do you fucking knock her? How do you knock her down?
Yentas? Stinky yentas?
Where's the hold on? Hold on.
Shut up, silly woman.
Also, wait, before we get into this like horror, the Komate man for €5.
Thank you.
Now this is Impact gonna have a commu post about this, and they won't say mooses. Cringe. Gonna eat meat and do my Christmas. Well, Merry
There you
Christmas.
go.
Well, thanks very much, mate. And
Thank
I think Waffle is going off again, bros, with 10 members. Why didn't we get the? Oh, we did. Here we go.
We did? Okay.
Look at him go, mate.
Very
Wait,
good.
hang on, we need a. We
Get his
need
ass.
a.
Get that crazy motherfucker. Do whatever he wants, please, please. Thank you, Waffle. That was very nice of you. I really appreciate it. That's very nice. Thank you.
Looks like you're about to get a milking already.
No.
It'll be a nice sweet one.
And fellas that have been gifted those memberships, tomorrow, you're going to be able to have an exclusive roundtable discussion. I'm going to have fellas come up on the microphone and talk about white nationalism. And if you could ask a question to the president of Return to the Land, a white intentional community organizer, I also want to ask him that. Like, the left has community organizing. Eric Arval is the fucking master of right-wing community organizing. Holy shit. So if you want to hear me think out loud like that to myself and give me extra ideas of what to ask him, now that you're a hard R fellow, you'll be able to do that tomorrow. I'm thinking, actually, Fist, do you want to come in for some of that?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, that sounds great.
We'll have to start at 6 p.m. EST then.
That's fine, man. Yeah.
So you can come in for some of that. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Let's get on with this. Oh my God! Look at that freeze frame. Whoa.
Yeah.
So the fucking female.
That's how small the moo peckers are. Just goes right in there. Slides right in.
One that we are now fully engaged in, confronting the global explosion of Jew hatred, unleashed since the attacks of 10/7. Stop Anti-Semitism was built for this. For years, we exposed hate, pressured institutions, and delivered consequences. But after 10/7, the scale of threat and the urgency of our mission changed dramatically overnight. Since that day, we have featured more than 1,000 anti-Semites on our platforms. 1,000. Not theorized about them, not quietly documented them, feature them publicly, clearly, and with evidence. The results speak for themselves. Approximately 400 of these Jew haters have faced real consequences, including firings, suspensions, and expulsions. More than 300 of them remain in an active investigatory state across universities, corporations, DEI departments.
So they love
union-
doing this. It's the same thing with like saying that hate crimes have increased. It's like, well, reports of hate crimes have increased. And then she's like, and they're being investigated. It's like, okay, well, I'm investigating you right now. Like with these are meaningless statistics.
I mean, isn't this cancel culture? Like, I mean, I'm just like, you know.
At what point is it collusion where how many of these fucking organizations are working together to do this?
Bro, cancel culture doesn't exist except when we do it. Oh my God.
And yeah, real quick. Elon Musk keeps flirting with us. Okay? Elon, are we going to smash or what? He goes, this is unfair. We got Black Pride, Gay Pride, Asian Pride, and then White Pride. You can't do that. Elon?
Yeah.
How, Elon? Anything else or just that? Are we?
No, I think as I said before, they're pushing on the weakest part of this arrangement, right? Where they preach universalism, but practice particularism. And this is making everything highly unstable. The rules have got to apply to everyone. So either whites get the same minority protections, hate speech, all that fucking like bullshit, or they abolish it for everyone. Those are the only two stable outcomes. The current situation where supposedly you live in a universalist society, except for these people and these people and these people, it's just unsustainable and it's pissing everyone off.
I just want to know how, like, the right wing isn't able to be like, hey, why don't white people well, they do. It's the way and this is why you have to have power. Because they say race, but that means non-white.
But also, Also, there's
They
been
are
a lot-
able to prosecute it, but in very rare circumstances.
But there's also been like so much brainwashing against that
Yeah.
concept. I mean, that was all of BLM was just about that, right? Like, reverse racism and all this fucking like just the entire framing of it is fucking ridiculous. You can't have this sort of like a situation. It's highly, highly unstable.
Well, we also see what they're doing in Australia and the UK, and we're like, oh, so then it's a fact that this is like, if that wasn't happening in the UK and Australia, we wouldn't really have the, I guess, material reality backing of like what it could lead to. We see directly what it's leading to. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
Not even a conversation at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Hospitals, nonprofits, and yes, unfortunately, federal government agencies. And yes, 5 arrests to date tied directly to threats and violence of anti-Semitic conduct we helped expose. This is what accountability looks like. This is what action looks like. This is what pushing back hard looks like against the tidal wave of hate that has consumed the United States and global population. From our founding, Stop Anti-Semitism has operated on one guiding belief. Anti-Semitism thrives when there are no consequences. So we created consequences, a lot of them. We created visibility. We turned the spotlight.
This is literally just the woke left. This is the woke left. Like, how is it in any way different, right? Vague definitions of hate, fucking threats, like, oh my God.
I mean, no, but this is why they contacted James Lindsay and they were like, you're getting way too close right now. Because how do you think the left has so much institutional power?
Yeah.
I mean, reformed Moodyism is an offshoot of Moodyism, which is progressive Moodyism. That's where the institutional power came from. It was a pretty easy subversion.
But also they learned this from the Moos, right? Like, oh God.
Towards those who targeted on our community, making silence impossible. On campuses where Jewish students were hunted through libraries, where professors glorified Hamas and Hezbollah terrorists, where mobs shut down our buildings and administrators hid under desks. We stepped in. We documented the offenders. We worked with attorneys, lawmakers, and victim families. And we ensured the message was not mistakable. If you target Jewish students, your actions will not disappear into the darkness. We will shine a light on you that, thanks to Google and SEO, will follow you for the rest of your life. When you look for a job, when you look for a spouse, when you look for a nanny, when you look for anything, our work will always be documented. Again, thanks to Google and SEO.
So she's just basically admitting, right? Like there is never any reprieve, right?
Right.
It's not even
they never
like,
leave you alone.
you're in the naughty seat for like, a few years or something like that. Once you are judged, you are there forever. Like, and they see no problem with this, right? Like, how is this even allowed? There's no adjudication. There's no court proceedings. There's no fair hearings, nothing, right? It's just
organizing. It's through the organizations. That's how they can buy. That's how they have parallel structures.
Wait, and we got a few super chats.
Oh, sure, mate.
Carl Crump for $2. Conservative boomers do not understand the enemy. Well, that is very, very true.
They do need to go, unfortunately.
Drenth for
there he is.
14.
This is actually hilarious. This is hilarious.
88 loonies. Thank you very much. A question I would have for white identitarianism: we can see ourselves from the color of our skin, but Slavs and gayasis, I don't know what that means, exist.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have the conversation about the ideology in your heads. Well, I mean, that's a good question.
Leave this comment up right now. Do you want to know why I love this comment so much?
Why?
The guy that always sends us 1488 isn't a white identitarian. He's not only is he not a Nazi, he's not even a white identitarian. Okay. That is unbelievable. He's like, yeah, I have some criticisms for even white identitarians. Thank you, Drenth, for $14.88. Yeah, let me go at dude. That's how much people don't understand how much of this stuff, like, you can't take it that seriously. Because immediately he would be cast as a Nazi. But then when you actually, then he has a very civic nationalist, question for white identitarians. I just thought that was poignant, to say the least.
Good question. King Green Moon for 50 Norwegian krona. I think that's
you're correct.
Right. Censorship is to protect orthodoxy. Didn't the church try this? And we got Martin Luther in response. that broke the Orthodoxy right. No, that was the Catholic Church, not the Orthodox Church. That was doing that. Arakeen, the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church split in. Oh my God, I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't. Like 700-800, something like that. And
now
and
no one
so-
should watch his stream. He can't even recall that correctly. Okay,
Dude,
what does this guy
like,
know about history?
Like 2 hours deep into like a moo autism stream, right? Let me some fucking slack, bro. Right? I'm not in history mode.
I know. I just love doing that to you.
And Carl Crump again for $2. If you target us, we will punish someone else. Lol.
It's got to go somewhere. Into
And,
a chicken somewhere.
Oh my God. And $5 for the last remembrance.
Thank you, mate.
This movie probably talks like this while she lays like a starfish, right?
Dude, look
Oh,
at her
come on.
physiognomy, dude. She can take
Oh.
a fucking beating, okay?
Oh, that is an awful image.
Look at
Thanks
that
for that.
jawline.
Oh my God.
In corporations where DEI leaders smeared Israel, excused Hamas, we pressured CEOs. Some resigned, many were terminated, but policies were changed, thankfully, from governmental to art institutions. Online, where anonymous accounts spread violent threats, we traced patterns, elevated evidence, and worked with authorities, leading to arrests from Florida, South Carolina, New York, California, and Texas.
So exactly like BLM. I mean, you know, there was that conspiracy theory going around that like BLM was basically spun up by the Moos. I'm kind of like, I mean, listening to this woman talk, I can sort of believe it because where did the blacks get this incredible infrastructure to like threaten all these CEOs and stuff like that?
Thank you. It's
Right?
not just the ideas. By the Moo's own admission, infrastructure, resources, material support.
Yeah.
That's
And we're not
not
slowing
our
down,
opinion.
sadly. Today, Stop Anti-Semitism, I'm proud to say, runs one of the most robust anti-Semitic enforcement operations in the United States.
Operation.
Monitoring campuses, digital networks, activist groups, and public officials, documenting incidents in real time and mobilizing millions of people, of allies that are quietly by our side. But the fight is bigger than the exposure, and it's about securing a future where Jewish students can walk across a quad without being screamed at, a future where employers understand that anti-Semitism is not activism. It's bigotry, and it will cause you to lose your job.
Pause it.
A future where fact,
So this
not
is exactly what Tucker Carlson was referencing. Remember that like Asian New York Times journalist from maybe like 2017 or something, and she literally talked about killing white people and they didn't fire her. Like, there's
Yeah,
been
of
so many
course.
examples of this over the years.
Yeah. They get protection. You don't.
Protection.
And imagine if whites tried to spin up something like this. Like, oh my God, the kvetching, you'd be able to hear it from like the fucking from Saturn.
Well,
You're
can you
like,
believe?
white supremacy? Like,
Can you? Well, what do you think a protected class gets? Protection. Well,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
they get the same protection as everyone else, why are we specifically? Oh, because they get a specific protection. They get extra protection, and that's how you politically groom people.
a privilege, you might say. Did you know, Artie, that the word privilege actually comes from the Latin privilege, which means private law? So the concept is that there is a group that have a private law that is different for them than for the public. That's what a privilege literally means.
Propaganda shapes policy. A future where global institutions, from Google to Chat GPT, from governments to universities to media, finally treats Jew hatred with the serious of other
Hold on, pause
minority
it.
targeted hate.
Don't they already
Together we-
own all of those? Isn't this like scorpion pincer right now where they cover both areas? Like, what are you talking about, lady?
Well, you know, right, like there might be somewhere, right, in the universe, like a place where that isn't completely like owned, and like, you know, they have to like snap that up.
We need
Presumably.
to get the synagogues on board with this. What are you talking about?
Oh my God. $10 from
Get his ass.
Double Mumble.
Get his ass right now. Get him. Get him.
Get him. Thank you very much, Double Mumble. I gotta go, Kings. I have a Sydney Sweeney movie to watch. Don't know what it's about, but I heard the plot is good. Godspeed.
You see?
Yeah, she does have pretty good plot armor.
You see?
On those, you know.
Very respectable gooning. Okay?
That's
That is
right.
a gentleman's goon.
A gentle
and a good
goon.
night to you, sir.
And a gentle goon night to you as well, sir.
And to all a goon night.
need three things: action, real action, as I listed, accountability, relentless vigilance, because anti-Semitism does not take breaks. It doesn't wait for elections. It doesn't disappear because we are exhausted and tired. And when I tell you myself and my team are exhausted and tired, that's the least of it. Stop anti-Semitism has never been more essential, more strategic, or more effective than it is now. But we cannot do this alone. The demand, the volume of tips, the number of investigations, sadly, it continues to grow instead of decrease. If we want a safer future for the Jewish people, this is the moment to stand together and act. We have to push harder to make it clear that Jewish safety is a non-negotiable. Tonight, I'm asking you to...
I mean, you do realize that it's shit like this that is turning the general population against you, right? Like,
I also agree with her that Jewish safety is non-negotiable.
To
nope.
To borrow a phrase from the left, have you considered just like doing better, right? Like, right?
Do
Like,
better, sweetie.
Do better, right? Like, maybe, you could like, go through like some self-reflection, maybe a struggle session or two, some like self-criticism.
The left talks about 400 years of oppression from white people, but like, weren't they in the UK since like 1066 AD? Like, what about 1,000 years of oppression? Like 400, that ain't shit. Okay.
I gotta do that on an episode, the Moorish history of England. It's a fascinating story. Yeah, they came over as tax collectors, actually. And they had like all of these like rights that the normal people didn't have, and they just ravaged the country, basically. Imagine that.
If you could team up with like Sniper Anon to make you like a 1 minute to 2 minute description of like what you just discussed, because like what you're describing right now, just coming over as tax collectors, sounds like an AI video. It doesn't sound real.
Yeah, no, it's real.
Always be in the fight with us, not just in spirit, but in true action. Participate in calls to action. Write letters to your governmental officials. Speak to the teachers and the college administrators that are making, if it's not your friends and kids, it's making other community members feel unsafe. When we act, lives change. And anti-Semites learn, sometimes for the very first time in their lives.
When we act, lives change. You're kicked out on the street.
Oh
you
my
get your
God.
bank account closed. Your kids go hungry. Like fucking, oh my, it's just leftism. This is exactly the same shit we were hearing during BLM. Like, holy shit.
Do you think they anticipated on them implementing this strategy like later on? Because it seems like a huge misstep to do it so close to BLM. What did we get, a 2-year break, if that? No, they were letting cars on fire this fucking year. Have you noticed that like this is the focus now?
Yeah,
And the left isn't acting out.
Everyone's getting narrative whiplash with like how quickly, right? Oh, we hate the woke. Oh, we hate cancel culture, and now they're just going like full hammer and tongs. Well, I don't think this is going to like work. I'm not sure that. I don't know if there's like even enough raw fear there to like. I think everyone's just getting really sick of it, quite frankly.
And history that targeting Jews will come at a price. And together we can ensure that Jew hatred never goes unanswered again. As a former refugee from the USSR, I say this with all of my heart. God bless the United States. God bless Israel, and Am Israel High. Thank you so much.
Dude, fucking right. Hang on, a couple more super chats.
Yeah.
$5 from Lack of Understanding. Thank you very much, mate. I love watching Artie go from it's the commies to it's the Jays. Keep it up, fellas. Merry Christmas.
I hate it. It's exhausting. I talked about it on Ben Boyce, I believe, where I was like, I had to like when I was doing anti-communist stuff, I had to consciously leave out the moose because it was like I'm like I don't want to go down that road.
And oh man, $20.
Get his ass
from
Get him.
the Gray Slayer.
Get those cheeks. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Is having Dracula behind the podium with a menorah on the front really a good idea? Yeah, well, I just
dude,
if you say anything about it, they'll close your fucking bank account, won't they? So shut the fuck up.
Well, dude, this is what I'm looking for right now. Like, give me your So, like, look at that jawline. I'm trying to find the jawline right now. It is like a rough and tumble jawline. I was looking at Dick Tracy characters. I'm trying to find exactly. She has a stiff jawline.
Yeah, dude, crazy. Okay, so what else have we got in the bag of horrors? We got like a bunch of them. So did you know, Artie, that you now have, as American, you now have an anti-Semitism czar. This guy was like confirmed today.
Under Trump's administration,
under Trump's administration, this is Rabbi
I find that hard to believe, but go ahead.
Yehuda Kaplan, the new U.S. anti-Semitism czar. He is going to be battling anti-Semitism on the internet and pushing social media to do, quote, better on algorithms.
Nagging. So he's going to be fucking nagging like a female is what you're telling me.
This is
Elon, no, listen.
This is going to be tricky, man, right? Like, again, because this is America, right? And America is going to be going around like basically saying to like the European countries, like, oh, you know, you censor too much speech on the internet, whilst at the same time they've got this going on, right? Tricky position to be in.
Well, no, but it's X though. What do we have without X? Is mainstream 4chan at this point. So like without X, think about the clips we get off of X. Think of like when you have tabs open, what 90% are from X. That's really where the information is being disseminated from.
Yep.
Once we don't have X, it's going to be really tough.
Well, look, if X goes down, there'll always be Gab. I mean, it won't be as large, but
we have access to normies.
True, but remember, right? Like they still couldn't shut down 4chan, right? Like you can't. What's that I was saying, right? Like you can't destroy an idea, you can't destroy the truth. And I think it's too late now, man. I think the cat is out of the bag. I mean, I'm seeing sort of increasingly the plan seems to basically be to write off the Zoomers as a lost generation and focus on, is it Gen Alpha? The younger ones with the soft brains still. So Australia just banned all social media for under 16s. And I think this is going to start becoming a trend. And they'll just be like, you know, we let them have too much access to information.
Right.
Well, we'll shut it down. You know, shut it down. Right?
Let the TV and commercials raise them. You know,
Yeah.
they can't find anything dissident on the internet.
I'm not sure it's going to work, bros, at this point, but I guess we'll see.
The president is sending a very strong message. Think about it. Ironically, I get off a plane. I am the president's representative, and I'm walking off with a yarmulke. And I have kosher food, and embassies will have kosher food. It is a game changer. The appointment is a game changer. And it's not about history. It's about education. And how do we educate? Indonesia has 350 million Muslims living in the country. How do we change their textbooks? How do we hold the people in Gaza accountable that if America is paying for UN textbooks?
See, these people have no power.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I love how he's doing what communists do, where they take up space. So now there has to be kosher food there. You force people in positions of power to make accommodations for you. This is just same thing.
It sounds like they're trying to basically spin up USAID again, except like with a sort of like highly pro-Muish slant on it, right? So instead of going around the world and saying, we'll give you money if you support like, you know, trannies and gay sex, now they're going to go around the world and like, I don't know, critique Islam. Was this is
right?
So weird.
And supposedly the changes are made. Why are those textbooks not being used, and why are they using their old textbooks? We have to teach people it's not okay to educate your kids to be a martyr. Okay? And we have to hold those countries accountable. How do we battle anti-Semitism on the internet? How are we doing better on algorithms? What companies can we work with? We are going to have a whole division.
This is just good to notice here, where he goes from martyr, so terrorist, and then guilt by association. Now he's just talking about Americans being anti-Semitic. You see how he does that? So they always start with something very extreme and then talk about something very vague and normal.
I mean, Jesus Christ was technically a martyr. I'm just saying, right? Like he died for his beliefs. Right? Like this is gonna get tricky real quick, is all I'm saying.
Within the office of the Special Envoy to Combat Anti-Semitism that is going to work on technology and working with the greatest leaders in technology, many of whom are Jewish and have offered their assistance. The office is going to be revamped entirely to be one of the highest profile offices in the State Department, because that's what the secretary wants and that's what the president wants. So we are going to have a very, very strong mandate on education, on protecting people, And how are we able to make a huge difference in combating what goes on?
Yeah.
The left, education, the moderate center, education, the right wing, homeschool. That's how you can tell the difference.
Let me see.
Oh,
We got,
yeah.
$5 from TK.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you, mate. I'm 35 years old, and my girlfriend's mom just dropped her off at my place. High school never ends. Always seemed like a meme, but no, really.
Thank you for sharing that with the class. We appreciate that. People really are just like straight up chilling and hanging out when they're listening to this. I love it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Fucking shout out to you and your girlfriend, right? And like, instead of Netflix and chill, it's Artie and Fist and chill.
Right?
But you're trying to make a move on your girlfriend, and like we're playing in the background.
You don't want to do that when I'm on the microphone. All right.
Oh my god.
That thing will dry up in a second. I also noticed that somebody in the chat said it's way better that it's Artie and Fist than Fist and Artie, which is a great point.
Obviously, right? Like, you know, it's got to roll off the tongue, mate. Like, wait, hang on. I think we got a big super chat. We do.
We gotta get his ass.
Pink. Wait, is that pink or orange? It's
Get his ass.
Modern Magnus.
Get him.
For
Get him.
$20.
Get his ass. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much, mate. How is this not colonization from a foreign power? I think that question's illegal now, mate.
Right.
The outrage, if, for example, Catholics did this kind of thing with the Vatican, would be nuts. They did it with JFK, correct? But you know, I mean, I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want James Lindsay to think of me as woke by criticizing institutional power. With the idea of an ethnic grievance and being like repressed or anything like that, right? Like, because that would be woke, and everyone knows you're not supposed to like do that. So I guess you'll just have to suck it up, right? I mean, if you think about it, it's perfectly natural that a Christian country is being like run by these people, and they are. I mean, how is this not violating the Constitution, right? Like,
well, I mean, this is the argument that like we already don't have a constitution. So when they like clutch their pearls over the Constitution, it's like, well, we had an amendment that made alcohol illegal and then legal again. It's not like this. It's not the Bible. They treat it like the Bible, which is creepy.
Well, Fuentes talked about this. He said it's a state within a state, and he's right. Okay, it has all of the parts of a state, right? It conducts independent foreign policy. It has its own police department, its own intelligence arm, enforcement, right? Like, how is it not a state within a state? Just saying.
Parallel structures.
Speaking of a state within a state, did you know, right, that organized mooery is a horrible conspiracy theory, and yet at the same time, there is literally a group called the J7, which is like the G7, except it's like the moose. I will have Nosferatu Greenblatt explain. You couldn't make this shit up, like, honestly.
Now, just last week, leaders of the world's 7 largest Jewish communities convened in Australia as part of the 2025 J7 Summit. This is a summit organized by ADL as part of the J7 Task Force to combat anti-Semitism, a convening of representative bodies of the largest Jewish communities on earth.
So the J7, as we said, is comprised of the 7 largest diaspora communities. We meet every other week via Zoom to share information, to share best practices. We share what worked for our communities, what hasn't worked, what might work elsewhere.
Pause it real quick. Tips, you can see where like corporate language came from, right?
Yeah.
This just sounds like any HR department, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's so clinical and not descriptive.
It's just weird. Like, oh, we're sharing tips and writing bills and all. This is the kind of stuff that a state does, not like right. These are
unelected officials.
These are things that elected officials are supposed to be doing. No one elected these people.
Draft legislation that might work in other countries or spoken of different litigation. A lot of what has been very important has been this consultation where we can learn from each other, learn the trends that are coming in, learn the techniques that others have used successfully, and what might be coming our way. Because what happened in Montreal could happen in Melbourne, and what happens in New York or London or Paris will make its way to Buenos Aires. That's number one.
I feel alive right now. So, James Lindsay noticed that I talked to Ben Boyce.
Oh,
I haven't
my
even.
God.
Oh my fucking God!
Oh,
Oh my God! And so the Lindsayyites found my profile. Okay. Now, when I just came back off of a ban where I made a joke about hanging a population of people, they haven't even. I really should. I should even do it right now on stream to show them my spiciest one. It'll get me banned if I do. But what I posted was, every day that passes, I completely understand how Hitler was like, there's no time to explain. Shovel them onto trains, crank the ovens, and get 3 trillion tanks of fuel. Now, hurry. I'll explain as we're doing it. Somehow he took an issue with that. I don't know how. And this is why
you're famous already.
This is
You're
why I
being
respect
noticed.
Ben Boyce. Okay, this is why I respect him. Also, very happy to see that work Chad is doing for the Black community, and it just says Moose. I have something way worse on my timeline right now, and I'm actually not going to show it. Okay. I just thought that was hilarious to bring up, especially during this segment of what we're watching right now. Please continue.
Wait, we got a couple of super chats.
Excellent.
K-Test for $5. Thank you very much. Fierce the sources for the Hushiel thing. AJ Deus, Mel from Islamic Origins, and Saint Murad. This ends with them sued under the 1965 Civil Rights Bill. Thank you very, very much, K-Test. I'll look into that. I appreciate it. And oh my God, we got a huge
Get those
one.
cheeks. Get those cheeks. Thank you so much, New Jim.
GM for $20. Thank you very much, mate. New 20-year plan to get our guy as president. Have Fuentes change his name to something overtly mooey on the down low. Force through appointment without review. Have Fuentes as the new anti-citrus czar.
Now, I say this without exaggeration. Eric Arval, the person that we'll be interviewing Sunday at 4 p.m., has a complete plan for parallel structures and how to get our guys in. And the guy literally has every answer, and he can overcome every objection. It really is incredible. So that was a funny thing to say, but there is real work that is could be being done in the back end. So thank you for that.
And Coom of Doom for 10 Polish zlotys. Thank you very much. Do we still believe there's only 16 million of them? I have no idea. I don't trust.
How do you define them? What's the definition of them?
Yeah, but also I wouldn't trust the numbers. It's probably likely that the numbers are being fiddled. So I've got no idea. Anyway, back to this lovely specimen of womanhood. Oh, God.
One. Number two, we do speak in one voice in certain aspects on key advocacy. So for example, when we left Australia, our call to action was on the Australian government to move forward the Special Envoy Gillian Siegel's plan on anti-Semitism, which has been stalled for a number of months, to accept it and to implement it. It was significant that the leaders of the 7 largest diaspora communities went to Australia to show solidarity publicly.
Solidarity.
So what you're saying effectively is that organizing for ethnic self-interest is very, very powerful. Huh. Okay. I mean, I'll write that down. Thanks very, very much.
Do we have the approved script on white solidarity by any chance?
Yeah, I don't think it's allowed, mate.
No. Okay. Good. That's why I asked. That's why I asked questions.
Yeah. I mean, right. Like, we were going to, but it turns out that if whites organize in any way for their interests, which don't even really exist if you think about it, because do white people really exist, and do they really have a culture? And if they don't exist as a people, can they even have any interests? So it's sort of a moot question if you think about it, right?
Yeah, this is comforting. This is how I grew up. This is great. This is what I've heard my entire life. It's comforting to hear that. Things are normal now.
Phoenician for 20.
Get those cheeks. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas, fellas. God bless from my family to yours. God bless you too.
Hopefully,
Phoenician.
I will be seeing you tomorrow night at around 6 p.m. behind the paywall.
Awesome. That'll be great.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get back into this. Oh my God.
With government leaders in the media, and also make this joint call to action. Finally, we have meetings that are some off the record, some on the record with world leaders in which we share our community's concerns and call for action. So it's both a really important body for consultation and learning from each other, as well as an effective tool when we can come together and speak in one voice.
Well, that must be really good being able to speak to world leaders to advance your ethnic self-interest. That's a great idea.
Hey, they're a
gonna write that
minority
down as well.
They don't have
You know.
power. They're a minority.
Oh, of course. So Netanyahu has been putting the hard word on various Western governments, as you can imagine. Classic style, really. They don't ask, they demand.
On August 17th, about 4 months ago, I sent Prime Minister Albanese of Australia.
The way he looks down at the piece of paper, like of Australia, like he can't remember which countries he's talking about.
It's the same thing with Ben Shapiro. He's like, I'm so mad right now.
A letter in which I gave him warning that the Australian government's policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia. I wrote, your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorism. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act. I call upon you to replace weakness with action, appeasement with resolve. Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country.
Cancer cells.
Wait, isn't that like massive dehumanization to refer to like people in a foreign country as cancer cells? Like,
no, it's the anti-Semitism is a cancer cell. It's it's cancer, not their cancer. Okay, it's a language game. I know that the left never does that. It's a language game.
But don't you need people to believe in this ideology?
No.
So
No, you don't understand. So remember how that you don't necessarily need any racists in power to have a racist system. The system itself is racist. So once they remove the people from it, and then they just call that thing racist, anti-Semitic, now they're fighting a fucking spirit. I don't know, but that's what they do. they did that with racism, right? Even if you're not racist, there's still racism in you.
It's a shibboleth, basically. Right.
Go.
Okay.
You took no action. You let the disease spread. And the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today. We saw an action of a brave man, turns out a Muslim brave man, and I salute him, that stopped one of these terrorists from killing innocent Jews. But it requires the action of your government, which you're not taking. And you have to, because history will not forgive hesitation and weakness. It will honor action and strength. That's what Israel expects of each of your governments in the West and elsewhere, because the disease spreads and it will consume you as well. But we are worrying right now about our people, our safety, and we do not remain silent.
That's a nice country you got there. Be a shame if anything happened to its banking system, if you know what I'm saying. God damn, dude. And this is this is like them pressuring Albanese. He's the Australian Prime Minister. Unless he doesn't do what they say, in which case he will probably be removed. Apparently, they've already got a replacement lined up for him. But I don't want to hear any conspiracy theories, right, about like organized power or anything like that, right? It's perfectly normal that they should like pressure a government halfway across the world. Perfectly normal.
And then we'll go fill in there.
Left unchecked, as you were just saying, anti-Semitism leads to terrorism and violence targeting the innocent. Your government has come under criticism in claiming that it has effectively responded to the rise of anti-Semitism in Australia since October 7, 2023. In September, your government recognised a Palestinian state. Your ministers have attacked the Israeli government Senior ministers refused to visit the sites of the October 7 massacres, and you created a special Islamophobia envoy alongside an anti-Semitism envoy. Have you taken the threat of anti-Semitism seriously, and can you guarantee the safety of Jewish Australians?
Yes, we have taken it seriously, and we've continued to act. We've continued to work with Jewish community leaders. We've continued to take all the advice from the security agencies to put in place special measures, and we'll continue to do so. Phil?
So you notice the question, right, was basically saying that his ministers from his government, they wouldn't go to Israel. The Australian government recognized Palestine. So did the UK government, by the way. And that, you know, it's in this weird situation in a lot of these Western countries now where the main force pushing back against the Moorish lobby is the Islamic lobby, right? Like the UK is totally like this, right? It's just like the Moors fighting the Muslims for control of the government while the white people just like sit around and get like henpecked by Karens. It is the weirdest situation. Like,
not really, but yes, but like they both hate whites and the West, so they're both teaming up. And their enemy of their enemy is their friend. So like this is the inevitable clash once they're both vying for power.
Yes, that's right. And there's a thing going around as well where I think I've actually got this. I may as well mention this now. So in the UK, right? The Muzzies have been trying to get this anti-Muslim hatred thing through, right? So basically the Moors have this thing called the IHRA, the International Holocaust Remembrance Association, that has a series of
acronymed organization, one of millions they have.
And they have a series of guidelines and definitions. They're not laws, but they are given to literally all of the law enforcement people.
It's guidance.
It's guidance, okay? And this is why the whole thing with Count Dankula happened, by the way, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
They were in the UK. They were trying to get this guidance over the line. Like, it's not voted in. What happens is that a government adopts their definition of what anti-citrucism is. Okay, right? So that they can and now, of course, the Muzzies want exactly the same thing because to them, for the Moors to be not able to be criticized, but for the Muslims to be criticized is anathema. Now, I actually did an episode on this like a while back. I think you can still find it on Yiz's channel in my Empire of Lies series, where I went through both of the definitions side by side, and the Muzzies just ripped off the Moorish one and are just like, oh yeah, we want exactly the same thing, right? So this really, it's just so weird. Like the whites are just caught between the Moors on the one hand and the Muslims on the other. It's so
we don't
bizarre.
need any additional protection, okay?
Yeah. No, we are absolutely fine, bro. It's like, wait, hang on. I think we got a couple of super chats.
Oh, sure.
Double mumble for $5.
Thank you,
Never mind. The theater is packed. I'm going to get drunk over the Epstein release that proved we can't win the normal way. Well, I mean, you're going to get drunk with your girlfriend while watching the Epstein stuff? Fair enough. Don't
put her through that. Don't put her through that, okay?
And $2 from Suck Duck. This explains why there are so many laws in Florida. Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's going to happen in Australia? Would you be surprised to know that there are going to be like a ton more hate speech laws coming in now?
Today, I'm announcing a significant number of additional actions to build on the plan. Firstly, the Attorney-General and Minister for Home Affairs will develop a package of legislative reforms to crack down on those who spread hate, division and radicalisation. The National Security Committee has agreed that changes will include the following 5 points. Agreed changes will include: 1, aggravated hate speech offence for preachers and leaders who promote violence. Secondly, increased penalties for hate speech promoting violence. Thirdly, making hate an aggravating factor in sentencing crimes for online threats and harassment. Fourthly, developing a regime for listing organisations whose leaders engage in hate speech promoting violence or racial hatred. And fifthly, developing a narrow federal offence for serious vilification based on race and or advocating racial supremacy. The Minister for Home Affairs will also have new powers to cancel or reject visas for those who spread hate and division in this country, or would do so if they were allowed to come here. The EU Safety Commissioner, the Special Envoy and the Department of Communications will work together to provide online safety advice to address anti-Semitism. Over the coming days, I'll have more to say about the government's response to Sunday's atrocity, including on gun control. And I know that New South Wales
Pause it real
is
quick.
moving.
And the way that they're using advice, like when they were, they still are, when they were transing kids like hotcakes, and when a kid said, "I think I might be trans," did we ever hear of a story where the doctor or psychologist was like, "No, you're not"?
No.
It seemed like 100%.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
They basically fired all the doctors who would do that. They were going around like witch hunting any doctors who would, speak out about it, and then the other ones just fell into line. You know how this works.
Excellent point, Fist. So, what do you think happens when someone doesn't take their advice?
No, I don't know, mate. Right? Like they probably give them like milky tea and like a nice chocolate biscuit, right?
A little pat on the fanny.
Yeah, that's right. A little pat on the fanny. $10 from the new GM.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much, mate. Wait, hang on. Do we?
Yeah, cheek him up. Double cheek him up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, mate. As someone who wishes to avoid another Holly, I have to wonder if they're setting the stage for another on purpose to recast the spell, or if this is just the Chaos Gods fucking over their own situation. I honestly don't know.
Allegedly 10-7, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
They are so good at what they do.
Yeah.
It's almost like if somebody's really good at something, you can't tell when they mess up. Like a guitarist on stage, if they're really good, you can't tell when they mess up. They're so good at turning tragedy into something advantageous that an actual real tragedy might happen, but they're just so good at it. You don't realize that like it wasn't on purpose. I'm not even kidding right now.
Yeah. It's
They're ready to
insane
go.
how good they are. Now you might think to yourself, given that the Bondi shooters were both muzzies, that these laws would be aimed at radical Islam. Would you be surprised to know that that is not the case and they are aimed at the white population? Interesting.
Do you feel like there needs to be, and should there be, a greater emphasis on hate speech from Muslim clerics in the western part of Sydney?
Well, you see,
I think, as I said earlier, what we've done is criminalise more forms of hate speech. And we've criminalised the Nazi salute. Obviously, that's in its own context.
Yes, the famously Islamic salute. Dude.
But we need to be looking at all of this, and it is really important that we have.
So should there be a greater emphasis on this hate speech from Muslim clerics then?
I don't want to. We will go through all of this. I emphasise that we have done more in terms of criminalising hate speech than we have seen from any other government. But we need to look at all of this, and we need to make sure that we've got the right laws in place.
Got to investigate.
We are doing everything we can to keep safe the vibrant multicultural society.
Oh, that's a lot of words for no.
Wow.
He could have just said no.
Vibrant multicultural.
Oh, it is very, very vibrant, very, very multicultural.
Well, this is what I'm saying in the United States. Like, we see where this leads. Like, to be on the right wing and to see where that leads, like, Tucker Carlson's starting to speak out about it. Like, if you really have a stake in this country and you care about your kids, like, you're going to have to speak up at a certain point, right? I mean,
yeah.
Provable.
Yeah, exactly.
It's manifesting in real life in other countries.
So, okay. So, mate, it's like we only got 40 minutes left. So I want to cover briefly what's been going on in the UK.
Yes. Is he doing an impression of a mitten right now? Is he doing an impression of a stuffed animal?
With Danny Finkelstein, right? You may remember Mr. Finkelstein. He was the one who recorded the video message that was in Piers Morgan's interview with Nick Fuentes.
Yep, you may have seen his mother holding up a man's pants.
Yeah. You know, me mom died in the Holly. Has now become like totally viral. And
actually, explain who he is, because he's not like just
no, he's not.
So
he's not.
What's his prestige?
He's not just anyone. He's a conservative lord. he's like, he's Big Moo, basically, right? He's he's part of the Mooish establishment. His father like helped establish like a Holocaust museum. As far as I can tell, by the way, this seems to be like left out. I have not read his book, so I can't confirm this, but allegedly, right, what he was saying is that his grandmother was killed by the Nazis and his grandfather was killed by Stalin, or possibly the other way around. The thing is, based on what I read of his background, it's highly likely both of them were spies, because his grandfather was like collecting information about what like Hitler's rise to power, basically. Allegedly, his grandfather was the first person to realize that stuff with Mustache Man was going to turn out bad. And I'm not sure about his grandmother, but anyway, he suddenly, all of a sudden, doesn't feel safe in London. And I mean, I'm shocked personally because everybody feels safe in London. It's one of the safest places there are, and one of the reasons why London is so safe, by the way, is because they invite people from like the worst parts of the world, set them loose, and you are not allowed to defend yourself in any way, shape, or form. And if you're white and you get attacked, the cops will basically like ignore it. So as you can imagine, absolute premier safety right here.
I look at Israel and think, well, that wouldn't be very safe for me or for my family. So I better, I do feel safer here. But now I don't feel completely safe here, if I'm honest. And I never thought I'd ever say that. Well, you still don't feel safe here? No, I never thought I'd ever say that. We're doing the very best that we can as a community to stay safe. I actually, when people sort of turn to Keir Starmer or blame Rishi Sunak, the mainstream of British politics, they are trying hard. I do think we probably...
Can I just point out as well, right, that the Moos in London, they have their own private police force, right? They literally have their own police force. I think they're called the Shimmerim, something like that. I might be mispronouncing that. They have their own private Mooish police, their own private Mooish schools. Like they've got like a whole infrastructure that is just completely denied like any other. Well, I guess the Muzzies have it now as well, right? Like just the whites don't get shit, right? Like, oh my God.
I definitely think we haven't taken seriously people saying things like globalize the Intifada. This is what these people were doing, right? They were globalizing the Intifada. That's precisely it. So anybody who put
that's a fair criticism, you think?
Well, it's true. I mean, that is just, just in very simple terms, the Intifada was a violent resistance and they want to globalize it. So that's what these people were doing. And if someone put up a big poster and said in Manchester or in Birmingham, we want to globalize the Intifada, well, that is the consequence of that. So we shouldn't tolerate that, in my view, and I'm very much a pro-free speech person. That is not, I think, a respectable thing to be allowed to say, because it's encouraging people to go and commit violent acts.
I mean, all right. Good luck with that. Apparently, they've been trying to arrest the protesters, because there's every week there's like a protest down near Whitehall where
I'm saying he's like a pretty pro free speech person. What country was that where that woman on stage was like, "We're a free speech country," and they were dragging a guy out of the fucking crowd who was like just trying to speak?
Oh God,
this is how it goes in other countries, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So, yes. And the problem is, of course, there's now tons of Muslims in the police. Like you would not fucking believe how many Muslims there are now in the Met police force. Right. So,
yeah, but they're like the least likely to have in-group, out-group preferences though, right?
Who, the Muzzies?
Yeah.
No. They have massive in-group preferences.
Oh, you're right. That's actually, we shouldn't probably have any of them. Especially when they're wearing the fucking headscarf too.
Yeah, you get like tons of them. There's so many of them. They'll be wearing like the headscarves and shit. Like, so I'm not sure how this is supposed to get actually enforced, right? So supposedly they arrested like 4 people at this protest because they were, chanting the forbidden Intifada thing. I just don't see how this like plays out, right? Like, I mean, didn't you want the vibrant multiculturalism? I mean, is it
vibrant that's what was said.
Now this is he's very, very bent out of shape about the backlash from the Fuentes interview. I'll just play like a little bit of this.
What I probably wasn't completely ready for was that this was then followed by hundreds, possibly thousands. I only don't know that it's thousands, because at a point, which is quite unusual for me, I actually stopped reading them because I found them quite distressing.
This is coming to you on X, is it?
On X, yeah. And it The reason it was distressing is less what it said about me, because I think, like you, I've developed, fairly thick skin about what people say about your columns and what you say about your politics, which is fair game because I'm also, pugnacious in things that I write. But because it was about my parents, your mum is a pair of shoes, your dad's a lampshade. With my dad's, which I found particularly unpleasant, with my dad's head on a lampshade. There were hundreds and hundreds of me mum died in the Holly, right? Which is something that in one of his broadcasts. What I probably wasn't completely ready.
Dude, the reason why that's so funny is it's like a 7th grader. Like, I don't know, we used to be, I'm sure you're aware of this, how absolutely brutal we were to other kids in like middle school in terms of saying anything to fuck with their day.
Yeah.
The last thing you'd want to say is what he's saying right now. That's the last thing. This is what you used to learn back before there was the internet. You're like, well, I better not. It took you 1 or 2 times to let people know to not say something or it's going to bother you. And you go, shit, I shouldn't do that ever again because I paid for that dearly.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, arguably he's been insulated from this, in a way, right? Like, because no one would ever dare
He's
make a joke
homeschooled.
about it, right?
He gets socialized in public schools.
Mm-hmm. Target for $5. Thank you very much,
Thank you, mate.
Silence of the Lambs movie said that Buffalo Bill was not a real trans, but that trans was otherwise real, just not Bill. Oh yeah, I remember that subplot. Yeah, you should read the book. The book is actually way better than the movie.
Is there pictures in it?
No.
Oh
yeah, that's right. You're not a reader, are you?
No, I love saying that out loud.
So these memes are like doing the rounds. Like, it's just, mate, he's just being savage online, right? Like, I mean,
his legacy. He had a legacy before this happened. Okay.
Look at this.
Oh
shit,
my God.
mate. He's just getting absolutely bodied in the comments, right? People are posting stuff like this.
This is where me mum turned into a lampshade, and over there, me dad was a shoe. The Holly was a dark time for my family. Right over there, they swept me auntie up with the tiny book. I was not in the Holly, but I'm going to profit from it anyway. Excellent piece of literature if you're interested in bullshit.
Mate,
that's very illegal where he lives.
I haven't seen anyone savage like this, like in ages. Like it's just, and it's I guess it's because, I presume most of these people are posting from America or something like that, right? It's going to create this weird asymmetry. Like, they've got to lock America down, right? Like, as long as America has free speech and, Europe and the UK and Australia and Canada don't, then they will be denied the sort of the solace that they want, when no one can joke about them, because the Americans will always be there, like taking pot shots and making like crude jokes, and it's weird. So
just so you know, I responded to James Lindsay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm just gonna have to flash this on screen really quickly.
Okay.
So what I said, now we can just ignore this right here. But what I said was, you won't face the wall, James. You're special. You'll look into my eyes. I really want to try and
Jesus Christ, mate.
Yeah,
You're
well, dude,
fucking strong.
Don't think of me. Think of poor Ben. It was just FBI. The poor guy.
Oh, you're really gonna make Ben regret fucking interviewing you, aren't you?
No, he already knows. I've warmed him up for this. He made it through my Ebonics song. Okay, I have shown him early on what I'm capable of. Okay, so God bless the soul of Ben Boyce.
Oh my God. Grace Lair became a member.
Thank you, mate. You're in for a treat, dude. You got a bunch of stuff to catch up on.
And $5 from Kevin 11.
Thank you,
apparently, mate. Nick Fuentes has declared war against Vivek. He said, "See you in Ohio."
Matter of time. And I mean, how surprising is that, really?
That is going to be spicy.
Or Vivek, because it really is a bad time to be brown and on the right. It really is. It's just unfortunate, as a civic nationalist who's slowly transitioning. Okay. I'm transitioning right now. it really is a tough time to look like Vivek and be on the right. And he says so many things that are right, but it's tough.
So Fuentes responded to this. I think I got the right clip.
Do we
And
have
people say, well, you don't
one
talk
more
about
here?
Muslims enough. You don't.
Sorry, what?
Do we have one more here? Did you get that one?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
No, wait, one more. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Wait,
So-
sorry, I missed the super chat.
Not a
mate,
problem.
that is some bad.
Mind you, it is purely a coincidence that he sends. I must want to say that every time now. Okay.
Transfer 1488 loonies. Thank you. This
you,
is a
mate.
strange number. I can't stand people who interject themselves into conversations and cry bully about how much their opinions. He deserves everything happening to him. Yeah. Wow.
No.
Yeah. I mean, he probably just had no idea. Like he's probably like, this little pipsqueak upstart. I'll sort him out, right? I'll give him a nice dose of holy guilt. And Fuentes is just like, nah, not doing it. Not doing it.
This is like a reason why I started cow hunting, because we've tried ignoring a lot of these people and they just get ignored into positions of power. It gets to a point where we can't ignore them anymore, right?
Yep.
Blame Muslims. I am adamant that we should have none of these people here. We should have none of these foreigners here. And who brought them here in the first place? Because I recall that when in 1965, they took away the national origins quotas and they let in all these people from the third world. They let in all the barbarians. It was the Jewish lawyers, the Jewish groups that pushed the hardest. It was the American Jewish Committee. It was the American Jewish Congress. It was the ADL. It was these types of groups that were pushing this from the very beginning, calling us a melting pot. We have no identity. We don't have Christianity anymore because of the Establishment Clause. Now that the gates have been thrown open and these people are here, and now that they've brought the war with them, now everybody says, oh, it's Muslims, Muslims. I saw, for example, Finkelstein from Piers Morgan. He had a tweet last week where he said, I feel safe in London. I love diversity. They have great curry. The day after the attack in Australia, he goes, oy vey, I don't feel safe anymore. It's not safe to be in the West. In other words, when diversity was killing white people, no one gave a fuck. Now that diversity is killing Jews, oh, sound the alarm, call the National Guard. I mean, that's literally how it goes. When diversity is destroying white countries, when diversity is killing white people, when diversity is erasing our heritage, hey, man, America never was white. What even is white? Hey, man, it's about freedom and everything. Hey, the purpose of Europe is for everyone to come here. Oh, now diversity is getting Zohran Mamdani elected? Oh, now diversity has all these Muslims here that hate Israel? Oh, now the diversity has brought terrorism? Now it's a problem. Oh, now we need to stop everything and only ban Muslims, not Indians, not Hispanics, not Africans. Now we need to stop everything and only ban Muslims. And then we can resume the white genocide with everybody else. Are you kidding me? And it's a sensitive subject, but everybody knows that this is the politics of mass murder. This is the politics of mass murder and how it's used to justify certain political policies. Nobody loves this stuff more than organized Jewry. Nobody loved October 7th more than Israel, because look at what they have profited from it. And even the Israelis know that. They say it about Netanyahu.
Yeah. So
now how are we feeling? We more in the Trump camp, MAGA camp, or like the America First camp right now, right? It's kind of tough because they're not saying that Nick Fuentes is lying about anything. They're saying they don't like what he's saying. It's really the only argument against it.
And speaking, by the way, of the National Guard, call the National Guard. This is literally, wait, is this the one? No, this isn't it. Yeah, right. So there have been calls, basically, that there should be Moorish militias in every single country.
Okay, now they've crossed the line. Like now they're breaking character. Like no, you get like the blacks to do that. You guys, I don't think you get. No, that's not a job. They don't get their hands dirty. Okay, now they're just lost.
Well, they actually already have that in Australia. There's a company called CSG, like a volunteer group. They are allowed to carry firearms. Of course, right?
Oh my fucking god!
But this guy from Israel, Hayom, is basically saying that what is needed is a Jewish People's Guard, not a local organization, not a security company, and not a temporary initiative, but a permanent global structure that creates an international Jewish safety net. So
Safety
it would.
net. Oh, what? Just in case they fail? Why do you get a safety net?
So it'd have like rapid response, an intelligence arm, global alert mechanism,
An emergency
provide
cadet
unified
unit.
protocols,
Yeah.
work in full coordination with governments, local law enforcement agencies, and key allies, especially in the US.
God,
This don't worry, this is not an attempt to form militias, apparently, right? But to build a regulated and supervised system, a shared Muish safety network that strengthens communities rather than replacing those responsible for protecting them. I feel like there are some like whites that could use something like this. Like, don't worry about it, I guess, right?
Well, no, you don't need extra protection. You're not a protected class. So you're literally, if you're not a protected class, you're an unprotected class, which is now it's actually a protected caste system, right? It's not classes, it's castes.
Yeah, that's right.
Benefits.
So then
my boy
Danny Finkelstein had like a sort of quite a long back and forth with Connor Tomlinson, whom he treated very disrespectfully. In my opinion, he was just totally dismissive, which makes sense, right? I mean, who is Connor to this guy? He's not even Muish, right? Like obviously like a racist. Connor actually did like an hour-long thing on this. Highly recommended listening, by the way.
Loved
like
it.
really, really good. So Connor's basic premise, okay, is that the British should be afforded the same standards that the Jews are advocating for in Israel, right? That what the Jews want for what Israel wants for the Jews, the whites in England, the English should also be able to have, right?
Yeah.
That we should stop mass migration, demographic change, and just Finkelstein is just completely dismissive, right? You're a racist. Because if you didn't, if you weren't a racist, you know that he's long argued for this country's English tradition should be respected. But that's not true, right? Finkelstein is totally for migration, never-ending migration. His only criticism is that it's happening too fast,
right?
And it's creating instability.
You see,
right?
controlled opposition. We don't want to be like the crazy right wing that wants to turn it off completely. See, we're reasonable. We just want to slow it down. And then what happens when it doesn't? Well, I don't agree with this. It's what Piers does. Well, I don't agree with the rape gangs. Oh, good. Good for you. Thank you.
Yep. And he's like, I have no interest in your white race war. Dude, this is fucking Connor Tomlinson, right? Like he's talking. It's so freaking weird, right? Like, and I resist your ludicrous self-pity and rabble-rousing. I can't help but think, right, that if it was hundreds of thousands of Jewish children getting raped by muzzies, he might have a slightly different opinion on that. But oh well, right? Like, what does he care, right?
I love Connor Tomlinson so much because we are on the same side and he is the polar opposite of me. He just stylistically, intellect-wise, that guy, I've seen him in so many different, like, he hates debating Americans, by the way. Because we're uncultured swine, and he wants to have a good faith like debate. He'd probably never say it, but
right.
He never like strays from his temperament. It's his level of dedication to being a good old boy is incredible.
Yeah, he's English to the core. He's
right?
proper. He's proper English.
Proper.
Now you might think, that you've got a constitution. And all this kind of
like
stuff.
to think so. Maybe we don't always follow it, but what is the country without it?
But I think pretty sure you are about to adopt the IHRA definition of anti-citrucism, bro. This is from CBS.
So anti-Semitism is a shape-shifting conspiracy theory. And what it shifted into today is this Israel-related Jewish hatred, Israel-related violence, and it is lethal.
No, when any group is under attack, you're looking for government intervention, of course, and then also civilian allies. So as we stand here right now, what can we do to help Jewish people feel safer?
Thank you so much for actually asking us this question. This is such a beautiful thing and so important.
We didn't
So
tell you to
listen,
ask it.
First of all, strong language against it. The second thing is strong actions against it. And to be honest, one of the most powerful things that anybody can do, any government, any organization, any group, any company, is adopt what's called the IRA definition of anti-Semitism. The International Holocaust Alliance definition of anti-Semitism is a non-binding, non-legal definition, a prism from which to see what anti-Semitism is, because a lot of people don't understand what it is. If you understand what it is as a company, as an organization, as a government, you can
Pause this
actually
real
fight
quick.
against it. And when you
I'm sorry. How long has anti-Semitism been around for? And we still just need education. We still just don't understand what it is.
Yeah.
Whose fault is
And
that? If after the Holly we don't understand what it is, whose fault is that to teach
It's
us?
kind of like the work, right? It's like a constantly shape-shifting definition, right? Like you can't really define it, but like when you see it, and at the moment it's mainly to do with like the actions of the state of Israel. I believe the IHRA definition has in there that basically you can't criticize Israel. If you criticize Israel, you are criticizing the Jewish people as a whole.
But
Sorry?
but they don't say it that way. Not criticizing Israel. What's the way that they would like phrase it?
They phrase it as
minimizing, diminishing.
Anti-Zionism is anti-Citricism, right? And so
there's a chain of command.
Yeah, so you can't criticize Zionism without criticizing the Moors as a whole, because Israel is the Moorish state, despite the fact that there are plenty of anti-Zionist Moors. It's just a state power flex. But don't worry, bros. Australia is here to save the day.
Hold on. I just discovered something on Ugly 1313 on Rumble for $10. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. To be honest, I'd like to beat her cervix like Rihanna's face. Grudge F style, pogrom her womb, show her pelvis, a fun time. Bang the Tikkun Olam out of her. Ugly 1313. Thank you for the $10. We really appreciate that. Fist, if you want to continue what we're doing, go right ahead.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
god! Hang on. Double mumble for $2.
Yeah. Thank you.
This mega on IRT, idea replacement therapy.
Right.
Torch of Whites. Torch became a member.
You got
nice
some
one,
stuff
mate.
to catch up on, buddy.
And
Yeah, homework.
Orange Party. Cheap ad. He's got Friday show. Check it out, bro.
We are dialing down right now.
He's a good lad. I think it's on after
send you to
this.
him.
Now, you may not have been exposed to Australian propaganda before, but
No.
it is some of the cringiest in the world, right? Like, they're experts at the, our interests, your interests, and we've got to come together for Australia. A lot of the psychological warfare and propaganda techniques that are now sort of endemic across the Western world were trialed and refined in Australia. And I'll show you what I mean. Check this out.
Enough.
No more division.
No
more hate.
No more racism. No more anti-Semitism.
No more Islamophobia.
This country is built on diversity,
On fairness, on respect. Everyone is equal.
Everyone deserves to feel safe.
Hate is where it starts. Here is where it stops.
It's time to stand up to hate.
Yes,
Now, this is really, really unbelievably effective if there's been a surge in kindergartners murdering people, okay?
What you see,
Who is this target demographic?
Is all people are equal, but some are more equal than others, bro.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, okay. So
But like, who is that for? Like, okay, hey guys, cut it out. Yeah, okay. That's all it took.
There's a lot of propaganda in Australia that's sort of predicated on this idea. And now, of course, the character of the country has changed completely due to mass immigration, and so there's still sort of like respect and no. Because fundamentally, what they want from this is to ban the White Australia Party. Now, the White Australia Party is
the real party, the White Australia Party.
Well, it's not registered yet. I'm
Right.
pretty sure it's like Thomas Sowell and the National Socialist Network.
Dude,
They've
have
been
you
like
you had to have seen this? Oh my god, he was talking to what Avi
Yemeni.
Yemeni?
Yeah.
That fucking Australian white kid with the fucking jaw on him, and he just has the physiognomy like fucking on point for what he's doing.
I know, right?
Holy shit, dude! I've been meaning he's got a head like a fucking cinder block, and then
Yeah.
on his jacket it says HH, but it stands for an actual jacket manufacturer, dude. It's fucking perfect.
So you would think that after the unpleasantness in Bondi, right? The first thing they'd be getting on is banning like Muslim hate preachers, but apparently the most important thing is actually to ban the White Australia Party.
You mentioned today that you're going to push hate speech laws to their absolute constitutional limit. Are you able to just elaborate on what that means and whether that could cover potential political parties like White Australia that are seeking to register that the AEC doesn't have any control over?
I'll start with my comments this morning that what I'm making clear is a determination from the government. But I also said in that same interview that my first meeting with my officials starting to work through the legal instructions on that was yesterday. There'll be a lot more work being done on that. For those who want to engage in hate speech, hate crimes or use of hate symbols, they need to know the thresholds are being lowered and the resources for the Australian Federal Police are already there and are being expanded now.
Will you be recalling Parliament before Christmas?
No, it's not practical. And I suspect that the opposition leader knows that that's not the case. We want to make sure that we get the laws right. I take it to some of the previous comments which have been here as well, have gone to, why didn't we do more? We want to make sure that the laws are got right. And we want to make sure as well that there is broad support for it across the board. We will engage constructively. We will provide when drafts are able to be achieved for what is complex laws, because there are constitutional issues, there are issues of free speech involved in this as well. We want to make sure that these laws don't get passed and then get knocked over. We have seen in High Court decisions in areas relating to migration and other issues related to that national space, we've seen courts make decisions. We don't want that to occur. We want to make sure that they are very tight.
Yeah. So I mean, clearly they basically want to sort of push through the Constitution. Australia, of course, does not have a First Amendment right like like America. Freedom of expression is a qualified right, much like the European and UK models. So, basically has holes in it large enough to drive a truck through. Okay. And I think we've got some Fuentes to play us out.
Beautiful.
Yeah, here we go.
If Jewish people feel unsafe in London, in Australia, in America, there's always somewhere they know they can go where they will be safe. And I'm not saying that so you should get out of here. I'm saying think of what that confers upon them as a group. If Australia is lost, I'm sure many Jewish Australians would be beaten up about that, but not very much, because they could get on a plane and go to Israel and they will be greeted by their own kind, where they take look after each other, where they can be Jewish unapologetically, where they can be among their own kind. What happens to all of us? So Jewish people don't feel safe. They move to Israel happily ever after. If Australians don't feel safe, where do they go? The UK, where they came from? Well, it's happening in the UK too. Where do they go? Saxony? Well, it's happening there too. Where do they go? Norway? Where do they go? The Caucasus? There's nowhere they can go. This is what is happening. Jewish people came here as refugees and immigrants from Russia and Poland. And they came here and said, oy vey, everyone's anti-Semitic. We need to fight racism. We need to fight all barriers to entry for immigrants and minorities. So they started agitating and advocating for civil rights and mass migration and get Christianity out of the schools. They bring these people here. Then as they once freed up, after they built Israel, they used their influence to bring America to war in the Middle East. And we go to war in Afghanistan. We take their refugees who kill us. We go to war in Iraq. We take the refugees who kill us. We go to war. We're bombing Pakistan. We take the refugees. They kill us. Then, on the offhand chance they actually target Jewish people, what do? Take away civil liberties from the white people. And there's just got to be a better way than that. Take our country, take our cultural primacy, take our lives, then take away our civil liberties, and then there's not going to be a country, and then we're just screwed. Then we're just done. And that's the dynamic. They want us to blame it on Muslims. Look, we don't want large numbers of Muslims in the country. They do extremism sometimes, and of course, they have a completely different religion. That being said, it's not really about that. Jewish people don't want Muslims here because Jewish people are killing them in the Middle East. And as long as Jewish people can't live near Muslims anywhere, that's really what it is. It's really that simple. The Jews are in a war with all Muslims. Tom Barrack said that this week. He's the envoy to Syria. He said Israel can't be at war with all Muslims forever. So the Jews can't live with Muslims in Gaza. They can't live with them in Jordan. They can't live with them in Syria, in Lebanon. They can't live with them in Australia here. They can't live with them anywhere.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to finish on that because that's a nice sort of bookend to that.
But so like if you're like a younger person and you have a rebellious spirit in you, are you really going to be scared of Nick Fuentes? And are you gonna really go with Trump? Like Trump is he's for boomers at this point. He's not descriptive in like addressing anything anymore. And with Nick Fuentes, he doesn't have to change what he's saying about Israel. And all they keep doing is playing his fucking greatest hits over and over again. Here, you know what? You guys are in trouble. Get ready for this. Let's put on Walk This Way. It's like, oh, well, I think people are liking Aerosmith even more now. Oh, yeah? Okay, everyone ready? Here's Lovin' an Elevator. Yeah, people like that one too, actually. It's not making them hate them. It's just the classics. It's not even gaining new fans necessarily. These are just the songs that we've grown up with. We love these songs.
20 Norwegian krona from
Thank you, mate.
Green Moon. Thank you very much, mate. Newsfear censorship less effective now. Well, yes, for the moment. Honestly, I've got no idea where this might go. Obviously what they want is the kind of situation that they had under COVID, where they just had sort of NGOs that had sort of like a direct pipeline into all of these social media companies, and that seems to be like what they are trying to construct in various places. I don't know like whether they can put the genie back in the bottle at this point, and since America is the sort of largest social media market, they are going to have a tough time selling this to the Americans because the Americans are famously very, very proud of their First Amendment, and trying to sell it to the Americans that, you got the First Amendment, but we need this special exemption that we will then sort of massively abuse it's going to be hard. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to.
If they could do anything about the First Amendment, like they really would have at this point. They've circumvented so many things, like with the Civil Rights Act and whatnot, but they really have a tough time. I mean, what they do with the First Amendment is a parallel institution, and then it's private. And they go, oh, well, it's not the government. It's just your bank. Oh, great fucking improvement. This is great.
Yep. But it's also, just part of the people, right? It's part of the American psyche. Like it's just, one of the reasons why I like Americans so much. You guys are so fucking based in that regard. Like the idea that you're going to like tell them, oh no, you can't say this. Right. And this is the thing, because, every American knows about the First Amendment. So I don't know. I feel like they're definitely going to give it a try. They're going to give it the good college try. I don't know.
Well, what they're going to try to do is, you can't just say whatever you want, and they're going to liken it to stochastic terrorism, probably, which is only what the left does, but only blames it on the right. So they're going to, say how it indirectly leads to violence. I mean, all they can do is equate it with violence, which is what the left has been fucking doing. Is that every time it comes around full circle.
Yep. Exactly. Speech is violence, all that kind of stuff. Right. So yeah,
Dynamite.
I guess that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. All the people who super chatted, man, we got so many super chats. Eric King, Green Moon, Arden Party, Double Mumble, Drent, Kevin 11, Target, the new GM, Suck Duck, Double Mumble again, Phoenician, Coom of Doom, K-Tess, TK, Modern Magus, The Grey Slayer, Lack of Understanding. Who else we got? Lost Remembrancer, Carl Crump, who else we got? Waffle, of course.
Wow.
The Kamate Man, Sneering Imperialist. I love these names. Suck Duck, Master Shake, King Solo Wings, John Jackson, Michael Allen, the Frenchman, of course, K Savage. Who else we got? Just John, please. Big Time, of course.
Big Time.
We even got a couple of snarky ones from God Mode Enabled.
Yeah, he's
I don't like his stream. Well, thanks for the money, man. Right, appreciate that.
What did we do? We've been the same the whole time.
Total Blackout Painting, Appalachian Goy, Aramaic Discourse. Mate, who else we got? A Little Accurate, Limiting Principle Podcast, Matty Ice, Adolf Nibbler, Caesar the Grape. Man, I think that's everybody. Soul on the Lich. I think that's everyone. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, mate. So, Phoenician over here, Mr. Phoenician says, reminder, Artie is streaming a lot this weekend. Be sure to catch the Arval stream. Well, tomorrow, behind the paywall, 6 p.m. Yeah, I just want to talk about, I want to show you some videos, Eric Arval, let you know the videos that I've watched and why I am coming to the conclusion I'm coming to. And I'm going to need help because the more religious fellas with his metaphysics on race and his Neoplatonism, it gets fucking out there. So one of the reasons why I like him is because he can give you a very simple, direct, effective answer, or he can stretch that into like a 20-minute conversation. So it loses me at some points. So
I'll have to brush up on me Neoplatonism, I think.
Yeah, I'd love to just hear the feedback. I'm going to have some fellas come up and speak on the mic and just chat and shoot the shit. Very relaxed, very hanging out. And then possibly, if we're up to it, possibly a brigade of Isaiah. And Isaiah saw what I said to James Lindsay, and boy, oh boy, does he think another one's coming? He did not like it,
this is gonna be interesting. You're gonna be the story for like a few days.
Maybe.
The pearl clutching. You're gonna be like, oh, how can you say such horrible things?
So, fellas that are hard R's, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be the interview with Eric, and then maybe, if I have it in me, cover the Isaiah stream, which takes everything out of me, because for some reason I have made it my business to watch things that are boring that nobody else wants to watch and turn it into content. Why I did that to myself, I can't fucking tell you, but
yep.
All right. So thanks a lot, fellas. Got the best fellas. We're going to be shredding this weekend. So have a good one.
Good night.
6 years ago, I was up here and I said, this is our first Jewish president.
Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we're both on a list. Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we make the moves pissed. Streaming through history, uncovering mysteries as to why